Welcome one and all to the Penn Ultimate Swim or Sink edition 199. It's one more week until the big 200. But right now, let's get into edition 199. I'm Frostix, joined by Jolteon Jack. How are we feeling right now, Jack?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited. You know, it's been a crazy time right now, especially some of the surprise patch notes that are supposed to be coming up. But I am looking forward to seeing some games here tonight. Like you said, penultimate tourney before the big milestone. And we're starting off with some absolutely wonderful team names right here. We got 3 squids and it still dies versus This Is Fine. Looking at some comps right here from This Is Fine. We got a versatile number of players right here. A good amount of skirmishers, a lot of midline and support things. I'm expecting just a well-rounded comp from these players, as our first match is at Mahi Mahi Resort on Splat Zones.
This is going to be Mahi Zones. It's a very traditional, probably good opener as well, especially because it's probably just something that you could use to get a good feeling of how an enemy team could play, whether or not you're 3 squids and it still dies, or whether or not This Is Fine. But I think I do want to circle back to what you were saying about that it's just been a it's going to be a pretty wild week here for the Splatoon community. We've got incoming surprise patch notes that may or may not shape how this tournament and other big tournaments may play out. And speaking of other big tournaments, Riptide is this weekend. I personally won't be there, but I personally won't be there since I am a humble Torontonian, so paying for tickets and hotels is going to be expensive. But whoever's going there, do enjoy the time, do enjoy the games, and do enjoy whoever's going to be casting it on the, of course, the production side. And talking about those notes, it's going to be something.
I am also looking forward to watching some Riptide. I similarly will not be heading over there myself. Because, you know, I got school. I don't have the excuse of living in a different location. I'm just busy. I'm very much looking forward to this tournament. It might get a little crazy tonight, folks, because of those patch notes. But we'll just ride the wave and see how it goes down.
A good chunk of these changes are affecting some maybe key support-ish shooter weapons. Literally the top of the patch notes talking about Splash, talking about Gal, and also talking about, well, Brella. Brella's changes are relatively interesting if you do read into those.
I was reading that a bit. I mean, hey, I'm happy that got a bit of touch-up. I think it needed it.
Yeah, definitely so. Good to at least allow it to have a little bit more fighting power. That way you don't feel like you're using a pea shooter in that instance. No shade towards Brella mains here. What I'm really invested in with this patch notes, and something that I kind of want to maybe invest in for the future, is that ink vac here. It has an increased suction radius, so it's going to be able to provide a little bit more support when you're up there, and it will also increase, I'm just going to read this word for word, increase the radius of the ink shot explosion when the amount of the opponent ink that was sucked up is at the maximum by approximately 10%. So we're seeing a AoE buff to the actual ink vac shot potentially, which will be interesting to see. You know, I'm a sucker for vac, if you ask me, but now we have no time left to yap. Let's get into this, Jack.
Yeah, I appreciate the not exactly rhyme, but I appreciate the flow of that sentence right here. We got some interesting looking comps right here. I'm seeing a Swig paired up with a Charger, Slosher Machine, and another Bucket right there. That is a Slosher Deco right there. That's not something you see every day right here. Going up against a Rapid Blaster Pro Deco, already picked down on either side. Some Gluga Dualies, and which just went down, and a Nautilus. Right now it's looking like 3 squids, and it still dies is in control right here, going down to 80 points in the first second. They're already moving into base before that barrier goes down. They're going to have to try to do their best to just hold this area and not let This Is Fine get out, but it looks like they're going to be pushing out right here. It's just the Swig left.
Damage being dealt though, as the water level has dropped, with it being at least past the 60 threshold, past the 50s now. But here comes the rain from Pampers. We love to see Nautilus action from This Is Fine, but right now 2 members down: the Nautilus, the Glugas, the Junior. It's only the CRB which gets sniped down by Arcade here, which is being very aggressive. A field sniper on 3 squids, and it still dives, and they're already starting to dive again. I think they were trying to pop the vac, but they go down. Same thing with the Swig. It's only the Machine and the Bucket left here, and the Junior and Nautilus right now are on damage control, and yet these members of 3 squids and it still dives are still holding strong, staggering out This Is Fine by a lot. However, they do go 3 down here. This is now the moment for This Is Fine to strike.
They just keep super jumping in right here, and one is able to slip out right here. The Junior is able to get recontrol of the zone, which they very much needed, because they need to bump down some points. With 3 squids still has a staggering lead of 38 points. Right now their members are coming in, but they're only down to 2, making it a 2v3. They briefly regain control right here. Their friends gets jumped off for the super jump right here. This is just a battle of blood right here, because we just see people going down left and right. It is a war zone out here.
I mean, when it comes down to the numbers advantage, it will be something important to keep in mind. But when that one person standing is a big swig, you can definitely assume that there will be a lot of pain coming out, even if it's from one person. But right now, This Is Fine are still holding strong. The CRB is trying to get some action, trying to chip out those dropping members. See, there's already 2 down. The Bucket and the Charger. We're seeing Noxy trying to go in. They will be able to get rid of the Nautilus. Snake Puppy's also going in with the Machine, trying to get rid of the CRB, but they're going down as well. The Nautilus is going down. Same thing with the Glugas on the side of This Is Fine. A lot of pain coming in from both sides, but this big swig getting a lot of pain down on the zone. They are able to get rid of Pampers. And now Noxy's trying to get, I think that's the Junior, or yeah, I think that's the Junior, as well as the Glugas on the side of This Is Fine. The big swig's going down, Jam's going down here. It's only the CRB left, and 3 squids that is still diving are now staying true to their namesake and starting to dive in once more.
Yeah, we see. I mean, hey, this is a hyper aggressive comp. I'm surprised it's not the newest big swig on their team right here, but they seemingly don't need the splashdown with how much paint they're able to output. Only 22 points left on the timer for 3 squids. They do go 2 down, and that Booyah Bomb will probably take back control for This Is Fine. It does with the combination. They pick off 2 members, make that 3. That is a wipeout right there for This Is Fine. With the 2 minutes left on the clock, they need to be able to hold right here. They have a lot of time to work with. They can't afford to just stagger like either team has been doing in the beginning of the game. They need to play this smart. Pick off each member of 3 squids one at a time. And it's 3 on 3 for each side. Control for the zone flips right here. Booyah Bomb's going to go out and get control. A wipeout on the side of This Is Fine, but it delayed 3 squids. It allowed them to just get back into the game without worrying about that timer ticking out of the penalty range.
does reset their penalty point by a bit, but I don't think that's going to bother This Is Fine so much. They're at the single digits. They have a Booyah Bomb charging up. The rest of 3 squids and it still dives are going in. But now the Machine as well as the Charger going down. We're seeing the Zipcaster, the big squids going down here. Delta is trying to keep some paint output, but when you're in Zip, not a lot of paint can be put out. Arcade still on the floor, but they're being dived now by Jam. They got rid of Arcade now. There's a bubble ready on This Is Fine as well. They're deadly close to taking back this lead. There is the lead switch now with 1 minute left on the clock. 3 squids and it still dives need to get this fast here. Now with 2 members down, Jack, I'm not sure if this is possible. It's only
1 down. It's just the sloshing machine, and that is gonna be the end of it right there. Unfortunately, right, and that is great patience by This Is Fine, just able to hold on and then hold fast and just not panic at the end there. They were able to regain control and just force 3 squids to just stagger a little bit, and just like that, they got picked off 1, 2, 3, and the 4th slosh goes down at the end there. That'll take game 1 for This Is Fine, and we're gonna head into game 2 of Rainmaker Museum d'Alfonsino. Always a good way to start the set when you see a match like that.
That being said, what we saw, at least from 3 squids and it still dives, they were of course playing to the namesake. They were playing pretty hyper offensively, even considering they had 2 buckets. They had the Zipcaster bucket, they had the Machine, they had a really aggressive Charger being taking positions on the floor rather than on the high ground like islands or on Snipe. Usually you'd expect Charger players to maybe post up there, but seeing Arcade on the floor, really fresh take on how that is. We have a little bit of some Ano Amari action here. So considering that it's going to be on our next match is going to be on Rainmaker, I am completely expecting we're going to see that same amount of aggression coming out from 3 squids and it still dives, if you ask me.
I very much agree with that, with how aggressive they were, especially on a mode like Rainmaker, and especially on a map like Museum. That aggression can really help them right here, especially because it didn't look like either team was particularly like a defensive powerhouse. They got the people out of their home base by either flanking around or just overwhelming the enemy team and forcing them out like that. It was never like a really hold area type thing. So I'm expecting to see it be just as, if not even more crazy this time as we're heading into game 2. I mean, you're talking about Arcade. The freaking movement on the Glugas from This Is Fine. They are. That was insane. That when they took out Arcade in the second game, and we're not really that much of a change up in terms of comp. We see a switch out to a Paintbrush on the side of 3 Squids, as well as the normal CR. That is already 2 down on the side of 3 Squids. Nobody was going for the Rainmaker pop. They were trying to get an early pick off the stop, but that's going to put 3 Squids at a disadvantage right here as their last one goes down, making that a delayed wipeout right here. This is probably going to be, if not a check, just really close right here. Already 2 down again on the side of 3 Squids. What is happening out there, Frost?
Yeah, we're having a little bit of reverse aggression coming out from This Is Fine. We saw 3 Squids and it still dives going for a full send hyper dive straight onto This Is Fine's Splat, but they all go down like flies here, and now we're seeing This Is Fine immediately occupying 3 Squids' Splat already. Snake Puppy's going down. We're seeing Delters trying to run like the wind here, but they get called out by the Range Blaster, or not the Range Blaster, but the Rapid Blaster here. Pampers is breaking that bubble here. They're going in with a Miska over here. They're trying to get that slam. They're getting contested by the Fizzy Bombs, but now with the bubble provided by the Junior, they will be able to get that first checkpoint. I think we're already seeing Pampers trying to contest the upper platforms as well. There's 2 members down, both the Bucket and Paintbrush here, and now we're seeing Silk bring out the Ink Vac. We're seeing Vac action right now, Jack, and that's going to...
The Vaction coming out, counter Vaction on the side, and that'll be a wipeout. This time it's on the side of 3 Squids. I don't even... There's too much happening right now here, Frost. It is just absolutely insane. 3 Squids needs to get some paint on the ground, and they need to move up right here. They've already made it almost to checkpoint. They're at the ramp right here. One player goes down. Their only member with the special is the Rainmaker themselves, but it looks like they have a free shot right here. That Booyah Bomb, though, gonna force them off of the ledge and just allow This Is Fine to regroup quickly. They're gonna try to get up, but unfortunately, no, right there. Quick stop. Jam going around the side, trying to pick up a second one right here. 2 down on the side of 3 Squids right now. Unfortunately, that aggressive positioning for the charge is gonna cause them to go down as they do get the jumps in, but it is gonna just leave each of the teammates picking off one by one. Pampers just running in here. I love me some good Rainmaker movement, and we are seeing it out here tonight, folks.
Exactly here. Pampers making good work of this aggressive positioning that they're taking. It's only Arcade as well as Noxy, but here comes more Vaction coming out from Soap. The Rainmaker does go down, but there's also 2 members down on This Is Fine. It's only Soap and Amiska. Snake Puppy does go down, but Arcade will be able to get rid of the Rapid. It's only Amiska over here. They are still holding down the space, but now Arcade and Noxy are moving with this curling bomb here. Arcade's trying to get a move onto the upper platform. They're assisted by Snake Puppy. Snake Puppy's going down. It's only Arcade left. Pampers is in tow. They will be able to secure the last member of 3 Squids, and it still dies for the wipeout here.
Frost, how many wipeouts have there been in this game? I think there's been 5. We're hardly over half of the game so far. 5 points for This Is Fine right now, but only 2 minutes left on the clock. That's a wipeout. What is happening out there, Frost? Oh my gosh. Pampers is just moving up right here. 1 member down on the side of This Is Fine. Each member of 3 Squids, they don't have that much room to get in there because of how much paint is on the ground by the side of This Is Fine. 1 member down on each side. Going from the side right here, hoping to pick off the Rainmaker. 3 Squids is able to secure the Rainmaker right here. They need to get some paint on the ground before they worry about pushing. Zipcast coming out right here on this side of Delta, trying to just get some picks and poke some people out of position, but unfortunately I think they're going to go down right here. Yes, they are. So once again with the Rainmaker just in this Rainmaker free zone, just daring. That's another wipeout, Frost!
And notice how they've all been coming from This Is Fine here. I think it's maybe because 3 Squids and it still dies are just really trying to send in their members, trying to at least get an assassination onto some key members, maybe like the Nautilus, especially more so the Rainmaker here. But since they're all sending them left and right, maybe staggering in some way here, they're constantly suffering 2 members, 3 members down consistently here. We're seeing Arcade trying to get something going with that Vac, but they get shut down without the Vac shot even firing. It's only Noxy as well as a recently respawning Snake Puppy, and Noxy's immediately going down. down right now. There's at least 2 members on This Is Fine Splat, but now Soap just decides to internally combust over here, and now this could just be 3 squids, and it still dives last hurrah here as 40 seconds remain on the clock.
So choosing to detonate the Rainmaker down there is, you might think, well, the Rainmaker's about to explode, you want to push into the enemy base, but detonating it right there is actually a bit of a better position, as it does allow This Is Fine to get back in there maybe a bit easier, but actually 3 Squids was able to successfully hold them in their base without allowing anyone to get out. They actually managed to get the checkpoint right here. They only have a 50 point deficit to make up, but honestly they could still do that. That's 1 down on the side. That make that 2 kills for the Rainmaker right here. The Booyah Bomb right now not able to clip the Rainmaker. They're gonna have to go in, but they need to play this safe. Overtime is probably gonna happen, and they do not want to get picked off by a stray bomb right here, but they need to do something that not has splashdown. So here it is right here. Yep, then that is gonna be it. That even with the vac, you can't just absorb a splashdown like that, and that is going to be This Is Fine taking it 2-0 over 3 Squids as we go into game 3.
That definitely felt extremely close once overtime started, Jack, here. I think, especially considering they managed to wipe, not necessarily wipe, but at least stagger out This Is Fine before overtime started. It didn't give them specials to immediately work with. They had to at least get a little bit more paint out before they could get access to to those Rainmaker stopping specials, like say the bubble or the vac, or more specifically that splashdown on the Nautilus. I knew that I was definitely considering that the splashdown is going to be a really key player in stopping it in overtime in that scenario. But then we saw 3 Squids and Still Dives trying to at least claw their way back in, and once they popped that back, I really thought that we're going to see a similar play to This Is Fine within like the first couple seconds of the match, not seconds, but like the first maybe like 30 minutes. So yeah.
That was just, I'm still reeling, Frost. I need a moment, okay? There was just so many bodies. Splatoon is a game where, because of how fast-paced it is, especially if you run stuff like quick respawn, quick super jump, stealth jump, stuff like that, it allows you to just keep jumping in and keep throwing your body in, and that was a tactic that we saw in game 1. Did allow both teams to get into each other's base and just keep hammering it down, going back and forth. It's different on Rainmaker, because in Splat zones you can do that, because you can just leave the zone and go into the base and you don't have to worry about anything. The points will keep trickling down. Rainmaker is a bit different, because you have to physically carry the payload with you the entire time. You have to make sure that it's protected, and it just felt like any time that 3 Squids got the Rainmaker until the end right there, they just immediately got shut down. And anytime on defense, they just kept throwing themselves in there trying to stop, and they were able to hold them off for the entire game, not letting a knockout occur. But oh my gosh.
I understand that you're definitely reeling after that really intense overtime. Me personally, I'm reeling off of what I think I'm reeling off of what 3 Squids and It Still Dives were doing at the start of the match. It's coming from a Wiper player, I also like opening on the right side drop on Museum. To see the entire team commit to that is crazy here, but considering what we saw, especially I think from the backline arcade, we saw from the Charger in game 1, especially how they like playing on the floor, you'd anticipate them to open like that here. I'm just gonna say, in an alternate universe in which they got that opening off, that would have been something to see here. So that is now the end, I think almost the end of round 1. Here's an overall score, an overall, I guess, overhead of what Group A's game have been so far. It's been a lot of 2-0s across the board between a DUI motif as well as
I just have to say, Death Crab for Cutie. Just beautiful name. Always, the greatest thing about this game are the team names.
That's my good old friend Strings' team. I'm pretty sure they're definitely practicing for Riptide.
Let's go. How many teams do you think here are preparing for the big tourney coming up? I'm expecting quite a lot of them, actually.
I mean, yeah, you have these weeklies, and it's definitely good to at least get a lot of good practice in before what I feel like is one of the biggest Splatoon LAN majors out there. If you, yeah, maybe it's the biggest, but I don't want to make any assumptions. Maybe.
For the sake of argument, we'll say the biggest. And, the practice always makes perfect. And, no, regardless of, you get destroyed or you crush the competition, practice is practice. And it's always nice to see teams, such varied teams come out here, from the pickups to the ones you see time and again. Especially as someone who's been doing this now for a few months, I'm really happy every time I see a name I know, and I'm like, oh, I caught those guys 3 SOSs ago. They're really cool.
Yeah,
it's always just nice to see that.
Once you start getting into things, you'll start recognizing team names, and it's okay, what are we gonna see from them this week here? But now we're going. I think our round 2 match is ready to go here within group stage, which will be Jelly Squids versus Beans.
Beans. I can't say the rest of it on stream, but yeah. I believe I have calmed at least for Beans in the past. This team is going to be fun, and we're going to Robo-Ramen Splat Zones! Yes! Obligatory Jolteon Jack thing about talking about Dynamo Roller. This is one of, if not my favorite map mode in the game. I am biased, you can say it. And I always look forward to it because I love how dynamic this map is and how much verticality and flanking opportunities it gives. It's always a great time, and I love it regardless of the mode. But Splat Zones is definitely my favorite.
While it does have that dynamism with the verticality, I me personally, as someone that I mentioned that I played Wiper in the past, I've recently taken a liking to hitting the sneaky jump here. Whenever I'm locked out, shoot, man, I might as well just hit the sneaky jump. And that being said, while it does have that sub layer where you can get those flanks off here, it can still feel like a map in which once you get locked out, it gets pretty hard to break out. So definitely a thing you got to look out for on a map like Robo-Ramen Zones. Try to take that elbow position here and just force the enemy team to commit to some risky plays like the sneaky jump. Make them try to flank here. Make them experience the dynamism of Robo-Ramen in all of its glory or something.
No, I agree with you. It definitely forces you to think regardless of what side of the action you're on. Because if you're on the there's a lot that goes into competitive Splatoon on every map, on every mode, and that's just what makes it so wonderful. But this map is just because of how unique the structure is, how the architecture works and such. It just allows for just so many different options in terms of again, flanking maneuvers, different areas to push out or keep people in. How aggressive do you need to be in this moment, and can you fall back while still holding position? But if they do get that push, that the defensive team can spill off to the sides and try to go around, and that forces the offensive team to either go back to zone or chase them. And it's really, really dynamic like that. It's I don't know if this is the most apt comparison, but it was the first thing that came into my mind in the sense of it's sort of flank parts on maps like Black Belly Skate Park or Walleye Warehouse, in the sense of just the verticality and how you can move around that map. It's not the exact comparison because the architecture on all of those maps are very different, but those were just the two that came to my mind first.
Throwback and a half here mentioning Walleye and Black Belly. I haven't played those in a hot minute. So yeah, definitely
a piece to the fallen, my friend. Piece to the fallen. They're not in this game anymore.
Piece to the fallen indeed. Here, the rest of the the rest of the maps within this best of 3 set appears to be a zone sandwich here. I think we saw it earlier here, maybe not now, but the middle meat of the sandwich is going to be on TC before going back to zones in this instance.
It seems to be a zone sandwich for all 3 rounds, but we'll get that when we get to round 3. Looking at the teams themselves, I'm going to look at Beans real quick. We got some very aggressive players out here. Each player seems to play a wide variety of weapons and roles. That person is all aggression, save for that pencil. I don't know why the pencil is on that thing with a solution. Oh, that is a Dynamo player. Let's go. Please give it to me. I want to see it. It's just so hype whenever a Dynamo is on stream. It doesn't matter if I'm commenting it. I just love it. I love it so much.
I will say, if I remember correctly, I have met Onion before back at Gommel here. He's a just great around guy. Also, like, he's extremely flexible, wherever that means on the side of Beans. And when it comes down to Jelly Squids, at least according to their Sendo profiles here, we're seeing a lot of variety on their end as well. Some potential brush action, some potential we're seeing probably a lot of splatlings, shooters, stuff of the like. Maybe I'm just pulling words out of my bag of holding at this point here, but we're picking weapons soon, so we are going to be diving into the action quickly.
I mean, I'm similarly seeing like a very unique words form in my mouth, please. Comp setup or just weapon choices from Beans here, because like on their Sendo profile, aside from Uni, who just has Golden V Dynamo listed, which I respect, each of the members has like a variety of weapons that are all placed slightly differently from each other. Like I'm looking at Ratty here, and they play some like skirmishing weapons. They play Carbon, Dualies, and Dapples, which is like, you know, that's standard like skirmisher Slayer thing. But then there's also Sniper Rider, and I'm like, why is that there? why is that listed? And looking at Mouse here, it's like Rabbit Blaster Pro, Pencil, and Paintbrush. I'm like, okay, those are common backline support weapons. It's good to see those. And then I see Undercover Umbrella and Sploosh-O-Matic. I'm like, what are you guys playing? I love how like creative you can be, even on an individual level in this game of like so many different play styles. Because like I play typically backline support with Dynamo, but I also play Slayer in such, and I'm trying to pick up weapons like Hydra, which so it really just, it depends on, you adapt to what you need in the moment. So it's always nice to see players who can maintain a high level of skill with a variety of comps.
Okay, so finally, we're getting back into the match after a little bit of a disconnect here. That is an Undercover Umbrella, actually, like you mentioned before here. We're also seeing the V-Heavy on the side of Mark here, and Onion is sporting a Dread Ringer for that slider. Definitely good to already see both of these. Yeah, we're seeing
we got a double slider here, my friend. On this map, that's going to go crazy right here.
Exactly, but that being said, one slider is immediately shut down, the undercover is going down. There's two members down already with the Headed, and Onion's being forced to jump back. Diamond is already trying to get their stake on alongside. Noodles here, understandable for the shooters to get at least first dibs on the aggression, especially considering that Junior has the bubble ready to go here. But right now, they're at least trying to block off Elbow. Both sliders are ready to go. I think Beans just needs to find the right angle to go in, but now Natpo's trying to go in. One slider is going to come from Onion just to break out of Elbow, but it won't hit zone here, and that slider unfortunately is maybe going to go to waste as Onion does go down, and Jelly Squids is halfway through their points.
Already only 35 points left on the thing. Beans has not been able to get back. Oh, that Reef Slider in the bubble. Not able to pick anybody off right here. The movement from NATO right here, just able to pick off members. I'm just seeing Jelly. Oh no, Beans is just a bit scattered right here. They just keep dropping like flies. They need to do something to get in there, but with only one member left, it's just, oh no, and that is the end of the game already. Not a single Reef Slider made it to the zone, and that unfortunately is going to be Jelly Squids taking the game round one. A absolute domination in terms of paint right there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this was a blitzkrieg in all senses of the word. This is exactly what I was talking about back when we were talking about like forcing them out within Elbow, not allowing them to just break past without committing a lot of their specials. We saw that I think we saw that Jelly Squids, or not Jelly Squids, but I think this was I think we saw that Beans. Yeah, I think we saw that Beans were trying to break out of Elbow, just Elbow using their specials. We saw, I think, the Reef Slider come out from Onion on the Dread Ringer here. That would have been really useful if it was just a little bit closer to the zone. That way it would have flipped that way. I think Beans could last a little bit longer here, but Jelly Squids were just able to hold the line very efficiently here. They didn't even dive all too deep here, unless of course we were talking about NATO going in. But the Zipcaster, which is like, well, you kind of have to go in. You pop the Zipcaster here. So that is going to be at least 1 point on the board for Jelly Squids. Going into game 2, this is going to be on Towerfish, Tower Control. It's going to be on Hagglefish Market, tower control. Now, of course, Tackle Market mapped by many names. Many casters I know give it some silly little nicknames. Some people call it Final Destination here. Topic calls this a really, really good icebreaker here. Pat calls this the Great Equalizer. I call this the straightest map that isn't Hammerhead Bridge.
I am sorry. I was just sort of thinking. I was like, yeah, Final Destination does sound about right. It's got a bit more personality than like FD, but then again, FD does have like some really nice visuals. I suppose if that's what we're comparing it to. So I guess it is an appropriate thing. It's a really balanced map because it allows for just there's never a moment where like you can't not be doing something. It never feels like it's ever truly over. You never feel like you're like completely held back on this map, and I do appreciate that. Though with how dominant the first game is, I mean, what I just said might be pushing it, as we're seeing a little bit, quite a lot of switch up on either side. We're seeing a Hydra traded out for that normal heavy splat lane, as well as a switch to a Carbon, a Snipe Rider, and the Glam Splatter shot on the side of Beans. They're wanting to change it up, but unfortunately, one already is down to a bomb in the first few seconds of the map. Oh my gosh, the bomb placement already. Meto going in right here. That's going to be 2 down on the side of Beans. Mark coming in, trying to get the Carbon is able to get the pick right here, establishing it back to a 2-2. The tower is still moving right here as Diamond is able to just get a little pick with either the bombs or the Ink Strike as though we're going in. They're already at the first checkpoint, counting down halfway through, but there they go. The rain is not going to deter them in the slightest, but with one player down on each side, Beans needs to get some specials to get them off, but they just keep getting picked off by stray bombs. Oh my gosh, they cannot break Jelly Squid's offense right here. They need to do something. As only 20 points remain on the thing. Double super shot is going to take him down.
Okay, so now this allows Beans to stay a little bit longer in the game. That Power Red is going down. Noodles is immediately back on the point. Oblivion's trying to make their claim, but here come the tri-strikes from the T-Tech here, and already NATO's moving in. They are able to get rid of Oblivion. It's only the Glamour Shot left. Diamond is on the tower here. They're at the third and final checkpoint. The rest of Beans are respawning. There's the GG bubble from the Junior here, and I don't think there's anything that Beans can bring out to stop Jelly Squids from getting another knockout, not even halfway through the match. I couldn't even talk about how Beans switched to the red pencil. There were bigger fish to fry, Jack. There were bigger fish to fry. You didn't even mention the red pencil.
I said they switched to a pencil. I just didn't have time to like comprehend the fact that it was a red pencil, which you never see the red pencil, and we won't get to see the red pencil because the set is over. Gosh.
It's a blitzkrieg. No need to head to Barnacle and Dime. The bottom bun of the zone sandwich will not be eaten. So we're going to round 3 in a bit. It definitely is not ready, considering how fast this set happened, Jack.
You know, typically when we see 2-0s in here on SOS, we talk about how, like, you know, it was a 2-0, but the matches were really close. You know, it was down to the wire. It usually went into overtime. No, this was a absolute blitzkrieg. This was just an absolute slaughter, right, from Jelly Squids right here. Just their coordination and special usage is just unmatched right here. And even with Beans able to like pick it off to where it was just one member, they were not able to get the last person out of spawn, and the rest of Jelly Squids were just able to jump back in, and then whoop, they have control again somehow. I just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were trying to at least switch things up here, trying to maybe trip up Jelly Squids to potentially work with something new. I think they still were working with that Carbon as well as the Dread from Onion to potentially work with to work out a potential tower stopping push. But you know, Jelly Squids were just having their foot on the pedal 24/7. They just did not allow the tower to break into their side of the map here. It was just constantly always within Bean's end of the map, and they were and they were also like you were saying, they were just like putting constant pressure on Beans, whether or not that's going to be coming from just their sheer weapon pressure or coming out from straight bombs like you were talking about before. That's also just really unfortunate that they're going down to straight bombs in that instance.
Yeah, my former captain on my team would always say this, is that the bombs are some of the best things in this game. If they are on that objective, bomb them off of it. Or in this case, if you are on the objective, bomb everyone else out of existence. And we saw that, not just with bombs, but we also saw it with strikes and just the absolute like monster that was the comp on the side of Jelly Squids right there. They just had a constant aggression and pressure, whether it be the numerous types of bombs or the zip cast or the tri-strikes. It all like flowed together into just this beautiful like beautiful tapestry of aggression. And it's like Splatoon is a very aggressive game. It's very fast paced, and aggression really feeds into that. But like when you see matches like that, you realize like how insane it can be.
Yeah, especially when you have a lot of just like when everything flows really smoothly, like having an aggressive like play style like that really definitely plays off here. You end up with steamroll matches like that here, and then you don't have, and then next thing you know, you have the enemy team trying to super jump in order to get back into the fight. So, speaking of Super Jump, time for a little bit of a sponsored message from Super Jump 6 here. Registration for Super Jump 6 is now open. The event will take place on the 20th and 21st of September. That will be 2 weeks from now on Saturday and Sunday. The starting prize, $250. That is 2 big ones. You could get like 1 copy of Mario Kart World and 1 copy of UK Bonanza with $50 to spare. So all teams will make day 2, and there are different brackets for all levels. You can go to the start.gg to sign up and learn more here. We've been on a hot streak within the last couple of months, Jack. There, we've been seeing a lot of really stellar performances from the teams that show up to Super Jump.
I always look forward to watching some Super Jump. It is an absolute blast, and I recommend everybody, if you are not able to play, at least go watch it, because it is a fun time. Not saying that SOS here has also been a blast, and it's been a blast of emotions tonight, Frost.
we're only 2 rounds in.
We're only 2 rounds in, you know, but we're already like, okay.
It's only 2 sets, man. We're already reeling here. You maybe want to like chill out for a bit, cool your pistons, because we've still got at least 3. We have 1 more round of groups left, and an entire Great White left on stream. So let's take a little bit of a break while we wait for round 3 of groups to start. So don't go anywhere. SOS 199 will be back in a little bit. Okay, so remember when I said that SOS 199 was going to be back after a little bit? So I lied. So yeah, we lied. We got hit with the maintenance. So now the patch that we were talking about before this all started is now in effect. The splash, the gals have been a little tuned up so that they can fight maybe a little bit easier or paint a little bit harder. 15% paint consumption increase for gal, by the way. Brella is getting a little bit of some tuning. Nova stocks are apparently up. Who knows?
Nova stocks, Brella. Brella will be seeing some more development and research to fully block as much rain as possible. And also Inkvac will be... what was the change with Vac?
Oh, Vac, yes, Vac socks may be up. Of course, there is a suction radius increase and AoE increase of the final explosion. So are we going to see some impulsive comp switches now that the patch has been in effect? There's only one way to find out, and maybe secretly I'm hoping that we see some Dapster Julie action.
I am hoping for that as well. It'll be very interesting to see. I'm looking at our game right here. It is Ion Deluge. Deluge versus I can't see the other person. Appreciation Collective. Well, these are just nice names.
I will say, Jack, can I just say, yes. for someone that has an electric type Pokemon in your username, it's Ion Deluge.
How dare you? No, it is not. It is Ion Deluge. Delulu, I don't know. Anyway, looking at the Ions team comp right here, I'm seeing some very, very, very aggressive team comp coming out from Ion here. We do have one player, Dan, who seems to be more of a support backline player. Nothing particularly that comes from the patches other than some splatter shots, and there is actually a gal in there, so I don't know, maybe we'll see something new after all. Anything over on the side of appreciation? Oh god, the game's already started.
Yeah, we're already right into the action here, but we're seeing just some at least some staple weapons already from both sides here. Appreciation Collective running V-Julie, which immediately goes down to a Akaza Stamper as they're trying to get their move on. One zone are already capped here. Now Ion Deluge is immediately in control. The strikes come out from the Neo Splash here. Amphi's moving in on the side with this Frozen Pro, but Akaza's going down here. This S-Blast is trying to move in. Cloud is going down in a trade with this S-Blast here. Now Appreciation Collective here is trying to at least get the flip on the zone, but with 2 members only on the field, things are still looking dicey. The zone hasn't been flipped, but now it finally is, and 15 penalty points go to Ion Deluge.
Crab coming out right here on the top of mid. That's going to get another pick off, as well as push back the rest of the team. They are in control and will probably take lead here unless Ion Deluge is able to get back out. Booyah Bomb coming out on the side of Appreciation Collective. Strike coming out. That's going to shred through that armor, but unfortunately not able to survive right there. 2 down on the side of Appreciation Collective. They're already down to 60 points, and 10 missiles coming out right here. Ion Deluge needs to move in with them. They get back control of one side of the zone, probably about to flip it, especially if they pop these strikes right here.
Yeah, those strikes are definitely pivotal for getting themselves in, or more so, I think, keeping themselves in. If you are Appreciation Collective here, it's only Dahyun left on Ion Deluge, but Amphi is still in tow, but they're getting swarmed by both Wumi and the Dualies, but now the Dualies go down, the S-Blast goes down, it's only Cherry with the pencil. They are able to get rid of the Pro right now, but Akaza is definitely a threat with the range that Stamper has, and with Cloud popping the strikes here, Ion Deluge is right back in mid. They have control. It does go into neutral for a second. They're right back in it, though. We're seeing the Dualie, they have the Crab Tank ready to go. They're definitely wanting to put it up on the silo over there. It is going to drop on the zone. Akaza is popping the Zipcaster potentially with the Crab as a target, but the Stamper goes down. It's only Cloud as well as Cherry left on Ion Deluge, and Appreciation Collective is storming them with missiles and a blaster in tow.
Gosh, we saw some, tried to see some counterplay, but it seems like Appreciation Collective just really quickly just hit back with specials of their own right here. They're in Ion Deluge's face right here, 1 down on either side as their penalty is about to hit, and they will start retaking points right here. 2 down on the side of Appreciation Collective, but they answer back immediately. They just keep getting picks right here. It looks like they are driven out of Ion's base right now, but they still hold area control. Appreciation Collective needs to get some crowds right here. We're going to see a zip coming out, but unfortunately gets picked off by the Blaster right now. 36 points left right here. Blaster just going crazy. Woomy in, just doing their best to just get in there and pop some heads. That is 3 people on the 10 missiles right here. That is what they need if they want to disperse the rest of Appreciation Collective. Going down into the pit to get the pick. There's only 10 points left. They need to get in and neutralize that zone. But with one, especially with only 2 people left, I think they're not going to be able to do it. And that is going to be game 1 for for Appreciation Collective right there.
You almost slipped up. It was not.
I almost slipped up. You almost slipped up.
Not Ion Deluge here. Appreciation Collective getting that hold here. We saw them just, I think it was a little bit back and forth. I think with the start of the match here, it looked like Ion Deluge was definitely in control for a bit, and then Appreciation Collective striking back. It then goes to a little bit of some back and forth action, but then we see Appreciation Collective starting to storm the front, especially with I think the Dually as well as the S-Blast here. That's a really good dynamic duo that they're sending straight into the trenches of Ion Deluge. So now going into Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime for game number 2. We're seeing finally the debut of Barnacle and Dime within the stream as the meat of this zone sandwich here.
Yeah, we didn't get to see it in set 1 as, we've had 2-0s for the first 2 sets. So it will be nice to get back and see it, though. I am hoping that we get to that Ion Deluge here is able to clap back and tie up the score 1-1, because I want to see some zones on Shift Shape, because I always enjoy that. In terms of what I feel the teams might try to do differently, there was a lot of back and forth at the start right here. I feel like they just need to do a better job of coordinating their specials together, making sure that they're not getting picked off or start staggering near the end. And it's a typical thing you see in Splatoon tournaments, and if I feel like they can just continue to hold those objective and fight together, we'll see that. But maybe they can adjust differently on this upcoming mode rotation.
About just holding right now. I think Barnacle and Dime is definitely a mode, or not a mode, more so a map where holding positions is paramount here. When it comes down to Barnacle and Dime, that is going to be the plat at mid. Having control of that basically allows you to have courts, and that'll allow you to have a lot more of that staying power that is really, really key whenever you are trying to at least get a good clam push going.
Yeah, very much so. I enjoy this map for clams. I feel like you get to see a lot of, honestly, it's a lot of aggression on this map, but I can see a lot of mid-offs happening. It really just depends on the comp that we see from either team right here. Do you think they might switch anything up particularly? Both sets didn't seem particularly bad in terms of Clam Blitz from what I remember of them. I
mean, I'm not saying, but VAC can work on clams.
I just kind of want to see what the new VAC will do.
You pop the VAC in front of the basket, next thing you know, you got a clam toss and party up in here, and that would be really good to at least just cover for your team, allowing for more of that staying power that I keep bringing up. Of course, having a long-lasting push is always going to be good on a mode like Clam Blitz here, and having a special that can anchor your team down like VAC can help with that. It allows them to just stay within the front lines, keeping themselves in the action. We have no more time left to glaze this potential VAC buff. Let's get into it.
I really hope we see it with how much we were just talking it up. Do we got anything? No on the side of the blue team. Also, no on the side of the red team. On the side of the yellow team, we got nothing right here. Appreciation Collective is still in yellow. Ion Deluge is in blue right here. At the beginning, we're just going to see both teams just vying for control of mid and trying to get as much eco as possible. We're seeing Appreciation Collective, some of them pushing up a bit, trying to get some early picks, staggering back, making sure that they do not get picked off this early. Already a cooler out on the side of Appreciation Collective for that little lifeline, as well as increased movement and special. We're gonna see again just a lot of back and forth, some tiptoeing. One person down on the side of Appreciation Collective, but they immediately answer back right here. We're just waiting out Zuka strikes right now.
There's the mid-off that you were talking about here, Jack, and we're seeing Shore trying to jump out here. They are able to get Dahyun, I think, with a stray bomb here, and now the shot's going down on Ion Deluge as well. The pencil's now respawning. Here comes a Booyah bomb from half court onto Ion Deluge's court here, but right now I think we're seeing Appreciation Collective move into court. Wumien's going to be able to get that power climb into the basket here. It's only Shuri left, but using that shooter movement, they're able to at least slip by a couple of members before finally going down here. They only get the initial 80 into the basket, which will give Ion Deluge a lot more resources. And considering they're already up on Appreciation Collective's plat here, a potential like I think a hazardous push is inbound.
3-on-3 on either side, unfortunately, slipped down to get that pick. I will say I really enjoyed how Appreciation Collective used that Booyah bomb on the push, able to using it not to try to pick off any particular player, but just to ink Ion Deluge's base and allow their clam carrier an easy entrance. And I mean, while we were talking, Appreciation Collective was able to push Ion Deluge out of their spawn, and now they're back out and have enough clams for a super. They're throwing it up to their leaders right here. They're probably going to go for the toss right here. They do make it in. One member does go down, but it's 2 on the side of Ion Deluge. They're getting those clams and already down to 52 points, 49 points, already halfway through. There's only 3 people left. That is a delayed wipeout on the side of Appreciation Collective. Ion Deluge need to get some paint on the ground and get back out there. They have a lot of eco right now, and they need to be able to answer. They also got their pity now. I'm wanting to see them get some specials right here so they can get out there. Cooler coming out right now is really going to be helpful in making this push. That's 1 down already for Appreciation Collective. Unfortunately, they immediately answer back. They see this flank going in and just answer. It's just trades right now. 2v2s, 2-on-1s. 3 kills right there for that not before going down. Solo missiles. Sometimes you just got to do it to them. As we got 2 super clams just wanting to get in there with only a minute left on 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Will they be able to get in there in time?
Yeah, especially considering that Zuka just got canceled out by the dualies here. It seems that Ion Deluge just can't break out of mid in this current instance. That being said, they do get a pick on to the S-Blast. That's a start, but with 2 members down on Ion Deluge and with Short Zuka securing, helping to secure the last pick here, they are already posted up right back on Ion Deluge's basket here. They're pulling all of their clams into someone's back pocket. Is it Shore? Is it Wumien? It's probably going to be Wumien in this instance here. They have that power clam. That's going to be hitting the basket first here to at least get them out of penalty here. There's 2 members down here. Cherry T is 2 clams away from a second power clam, and will we say it? Yes, we will. Boom! A second power clam has hit the basket, and that will push their lead to 29.
They died, but they got the points down to 29, and with only a minute and a half left, and with no pushes so far, this is a staggering lead that Ion Deluge is going to have to make up right here. I don't even know if the S-Blast was meaning to get that kill right there, but they killed somebody before going down. That was just very funny to see right here. Again, we're back to mid-off state. Appreciation Collective, 1 member going down, 2 members, but it's 2 on either side. Gosh, it is just team fights going down and back. The Gal mid-off right here, Splat lane mid-off right now, just with both sides just trying to think. The amount of paint that both sides are able to put out here is staggering. Cooler coming out on the side of Ion Deluge. Unfortunately, their clam carrier just goes down immediately right there. 3v3 on either side, trying to save that super clam. They are able to do so, but they might go down right here. They do. Okay, it does not fall off. I thought it was about to go into the water. I have seen that happen 1 too many times on clams. This is the push they need to go. There's 2 down on the side of Appreciation Collective. With this pencil, they're trying to pick more off, and unfortunately, I think all of their forward support is gone. They just need to wait for the rest of the team to respawn, but it seems like they're doing it. Booyah bomb coming out right here. We're down to 30 seconds, Frost. It's possible.
Dahyun does have the power climb in their back pocket here. Cloud is popping the Zuka, but now we're seeing the Nautilus go down here. Wumien's trying to go in. They at least have the shot onto Dahyun. Now Cloud is trying to fend for the life. They are able to get rid of Wumien, but Cherry T in the back pocket, they are able to get rid of Cloud, and now no one from Ion Deluge is left to secure that power climb here. We're returning back to another mid-off state here. That power climb is fading fast. There's another pity climb within Ion Deluge's court here, but now
2 down to Zuka.
Collective is trying to move in. There's only the Amphi left in mid here. It is looking desperately bleak here. Sure, it's almost at another power climb to end overtime. It's hitting the basket, and that's gonna close the game.
God, complete dominance on the side of Appreciation Collective right there. Just look at the amount of paint they got on the ground. I don't think they lost paint advantage the entire game.
They definitely didn't here. They were just holding so much space here, and then that's just like what I was talking about. You're taking control of power positions here, and whenever you're not, just at least holding up the paint control wherever you can, whether or not that's going to be within mid, whenever you're in that mid-off state, or whenever you're trying to contest spots like mid-plat, or especially, I think, in the hands of Appreciation Collective, taking control of courts. They were doing that in spades here. They were using their specials to keep themselves in there. I think that I saw the crab being brought out from the dualies here. A crab in court is a difficult thing to get out, so definite shout outs to Appreciation Collective. And now, after a very long wait because of that patch, group stage has come to an end and brackets will now start materializing.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that I thought, like, with how long that break is, typically it's like, oh, now it's time for bracket. We're technically ahead of schedule, folks, because we don't have as many players as we typically do. But even still, with that patch, it feels like we've been here forever.
We have been. It felt like the longest 15 minutes I've ever spent. That is something here. And now looking at an overhead of what not anymore, not looking at an overhead of what Group G was up to, now looking at an overhead of what Group G was up to here. We're seeing a lot more 2-1 sets here from Appreciation Collective, like we saw earlier, as well as Easy and Big Fat Sea Cows. So definitely some more heated matches now that the dust has all settled after the patch has hit.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we saw 2-0s all around from Big Cat Sea Cows. Aside from the fact that they, am I honest deceiving me? Did they lose to Appreciation Collective last set?
I don't know. Well, I honestly don't know.
We can't. Would love it when your commentators can't tell the scoreboard, or ladies and gentlemen, and squids of all ages.
Well,
thank you.
They lost in round one.
Thank you, voice in my head.
That voice has a name. Anyways, it's going to be a interesting bracket now that the patch is hit. I'm not sure. I mean, we saw that at least within this set alone, the teams were choosing to stick with just what they usually run here. I think that's more so what the viewers will see more so in bracket, especially considering that we're entering more higher stakes stages of the tournament. So maybe trying out some more experimental things would be a little bit of a gamble.
Yeah, most of the changes were like very subtle. It was mostly focused on shooters and support weapons. I do wonder if any like gal mains were in set and were like suddenly really confused as to why they're running out of ink so much quicker. We didn't really see it in this last set, but that would have been very funny to see if that did happen.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued on how that ink consumption how that ink consumption change is going to affect how like the output of paint gal is going to have. I'm still going to mention it. Consider the ink vac. You know you want to do it, especially on a mode like Rainmaker. Think about the possibilities. You know, there's the suction radius buff, the AOE of the explosion. It could be like give vac a shot.
I mean, I've never really been interested in vac before, but I might like start like trying out with it. It just sucks because none of the weapons I typically play run it, but who knows? I might pick up Bixwick eventually.
Yeah, you know, I may consider. Man, well, I don't know if there actually are a lot of frontlines that have vac. Maybe I'll look into that once we're off the mic, which I think is gonna have to happen sometime now or later, because we've still got the rest of Great White Bracket upcoming on Swimmer Sync 199, but that won't be casted by us, unfortunately. Jack, you are going to be hearing from the lovely voices of Shark Beret and Omazen in Block 2. But before we jump off the mic, Jack, where can the good people of Twitch chat and YouTube chat find you?
Well, I'm an aspiring voice actor. Name of Jolteon Jack on Casting Call Club. So if you see me there, like, give me a follow, and also maybe like if I audition for a project that you host, please take me, please. But also you can find me on Jolteon Jack Blue Sky under Jolteon Jack Blue Sky social, as well as Twitter of just Jolteon Jack 22. I'm having a fun time. I'm trying to get more into posting. We might start getting into streaming. It really just depends on what we're feeling like this year. What about my good friend Frost? Where can we find you?
Of course, you guys can find me at Twitter at TK_Frostix, at Blue Sky, at Frostix.bluesky.social. Frostix basically almost every single social platform, maybe Discord, YouTube, who knows. And if you want to support some of my own personal work, you can read my web novel Gap Year on Wattpad. I swear it's worth your time. Anyways, I'm sidetracking. I definitely know that
Hey, I talked about
Yeah.
my man. I talked about voice acting. You can talk about your novel.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Omazen and Shark Ray have probably been waiting in Dragged In for a little too long, so we best get off the radio waves.
Yeah. Stay fresh, y'all.
Thank you, Frostix, for the introduction. Good evening, gamers. Welcome back to your staple tournament, Swim or Sink. I'm Sharkbray, joined here by my absolute goat, Omazen, and we'll be jumping into gold bracket here shortly with Poyo going up against O2 POV.
Yeah, Shark. It's going to be a really fun set, I'm sure, here. Two kind of classic teams here. We've seen Poyo around a little bit, and then a lot of the gamers from 0-2 POV. You know, they got the winner POV over there, but they also have the loser POV. So, you know, I don't know what to expect really from this set.
We'll go with tie POV. How about that?
The tie POV first for SOS history.
1.5 to 1.5. It's like three-way tie in cars.
Oh, absolutely. And we are on SOS 199. 199 SOSs. That's freaking crazy. Right before Riptide 2. So, you know, if you're gonna do something a little silly, if we're gonna see a 1.5 to a 1.5 score here, I think this is probably the SOS for it. But I'll plead my case.
We'll be going into Mahi Mahi Resort here, and again, one of those maps that you're going to be very much pushing in on the left, very hard to push on the right. You'll have rollers, you'll have buckets just sitting on ledge, waiting to cap, or waiting to just absolutely, you know, take space and take names on splats on if you're pushing in from spawn on right. This is another map where we're going to see possibly. I'd love to see Reef Cheese, as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, I
love
mean,
that
Reef Cheese. Yeah, Reef Cheese is kind of like a necessity almost on Mahi Mahi. If neither team is running it, I think something is wrong. Like something wrong happened, and we probably have to just replay the game entirely.
This is one of my favorite maps too. Honestly, this is like when I'm playing with my teammates, dude. This is a very, very fun map to play Nouveau Dapples on. I love Blue Dapples, and it gives me an excuse to play. It gives me an excuse to play Slider and dive and be funny, silly, stupid, and have it work.
No, absolutely. It's a really good kit. We've seen a lot of resurgence with both Dapples too, which I think is always fun. I think dualies are healthy for the meta. I don't know about you, Shark, but I think dualies are like a really good weapon. It teaches you how to anticipate certain like erratic movements that some other weapons don't necessarily provide. Like a lot of shooters, they do their own dips and dives, right? But the dualies, that's baked into the weapon itself. So you can't ask for much more.
I have been a Dapple believer since Splatoon 2, and I am very happy to actually have a kit that is worth playing. I would definitely 5-star V Devils again, but again, yeah, no, dualies is very, very fun for the meta. I am very much a dualie lover, as much as I am a charger lover as of recent. But it's Nogami's favorite class. He's never gonna. No, God, they're never gonna nerf V-Dualie. Let's just face it. They just buffed Gal. Was it an interview that Nogami said is like Gal and Dualies were his two favorite weapons?
Ooh, I'm not sure if I know what interview you're talking about. Going to be completely real.
I remember seeing it, but nah. Listen. I'm a happy dualier. I will dive bomb whenever possible.
Absolutely. In my camp, I'm typically the resident sword guy. Ever since they added those to the game, I've been so happy, and we've been eating very well too. Everyone in the world's like, Stamper, you get everything. And I'm like, good. Thank God it does.
I feel like everyone's been eating well this game, except for Brella mains, and I can't decide whether I'm sad or happy about that, because 10, we see 10, we love 10, but with that Brella rework, if you'd call it a rework, I really want to see how that turns out, because playing as and with Sorella Brella on team that we've been kind of messing around with, it's been very fun to play around.
No, absolutely. And I mean, also kind of like the almost like partial Gal rework is really interesting too. I still don't know what to make of that personally. Its shots basically teleport now, and they basically teleport to max range, and the ink efficiency, I wouldn't think, I haven't actually had a chance to like get my hands on it and try it for myself, but the ink efficiency I don't think is going to be that big of a I don't think it's going to be that big of a detriment for it. I still think 52 Cal is going to be, again, just a really, really oppressive weapon, and one that you're going to still see run every now and then on teams. But in solo and X rank, you're going to see it run everywhere. Let's just be real. It's a staple. It's not going to be run away. Absolutely agreed there.
Jumping into our first game here. Let's go. Let's see it.
Yeah, we have both POVs present, by the way, on the side of 0-2 POV. So and they're both gals. I think
there's three of them. There's three of them.
There's three gals in this match. Okay, well, they know what's up. Let's see who just wins out in this situation.
Again, Gal going down on the side of Poyo. Again, this is a very Mahi is one of those maps where it's you have immediate aggression coming out from both sides of the map, and O2POV just able to just absolutely take space there. They win the fight in mid, and we're gonna have Gal just kind of sharking Vanilla Wedge. Again, one of those very strong weapons that is just able to just sit on right and hold space.
Yeah, and as you say that, unfortunately, one of the gals going down to the pen, providing an opportunity for the members of Poyo to move in. This Brella doing an excellent job of getting some space for their team, although still going down to that gal who's now off respawn. Ooh, falling in the water. Not necessarily what you want to see.
Welcome to Mahi. Again, you know what? No, I really like both of these comps. These both seem fun. I mean, we got Coolerless run on the side of O2 POV, so we'll see how that runs out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I really like the aggro that we kind of have on the side of O2 POV. The Rapid kind of doing a really good job of, you know, getting some additional chip for the members of their team. And just kind of the way that Poyo can surround. Like, look at that last play we just saw there.
Absolute, just like, I don't know how loser POV absolute just survived having three people look at him. Actually insane. Just able to survive, able to keep persisting long after the push is over.
Is it really the loser POV if they're pulling off a play like that? I don't know.
Well, depends. Let's see. We gotta watch this game. Crab coming out on the side of Poyo, gets a pick off, but let's see if we can capitalize on that.
Ooh, it seems like they are able to get 2 picks. Not bad at all. They get a third. Now they're in a good position for lockout here, Shark.
What's essentially a wipe coming out on the side of Poyo, able to get Cooler up, has Whale for a little bit of oppression to. I would think they would want to pop it on the pen, but they pop it on the shot. A pick coming out from winner POV. Splashdown coming out from Brella.
Ooh, it seems like maybe it only just grazed that gal there, not getting a ton of value, but they are able to get a good lead here. 2 down on the side of 0-2 POV. They're holding control. They're getting back up. Not bad at all. This Kraken is going to find one, but can it find enough to get the tide turning in their favor?
It doesn't look like it's going to be so. Absolute hard read. Very good hard read by the Kraken. It's kind of a soul read, but they're going to be able to turn zone back over just to give them a little bit more breathing room in terms of time.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough here for the members of 0-2 POV to find an opportunity to break in. All they have to do is maybe get a special or 2 up, but it's looking like they're maybe trying to go for an Islands play on the far left with that T-Tech in particular, breaking out some strikes. They do have 2 down now. This is their opportunity to flip, and they do.
Again, with double whale on the side of O2 POV and only strikes to paint, this is a bit of an interesting comp, looking to try and get a little bit more aggression off of their specials and less paint, especially with the small size of the zone.
Yeah, for sure. And with that zone size being so small as it is, it provides a lot of good opportunities for the team to just kind of quickly, convenient paint it without having to dedicate too much resources to it. And as we see, that's worked out really well for Poyo so far, who's been doing a really good job of actually just kind of flipping the zone continuously in their favor. Even if they do lose it briefly, like these strikes, they actually don't flip it. I'm a little surprised by that. But look at that. Now that penalty's out of the way, they're trying to get this win under their hands.
And they'll be able to take it. Poyo will take game 1. And very surprising. Is that custom? Is that custom, Brella? Or is that custom Bambrella? Able to have a lot of oppression, actually, with Splashdown being able not only to recap zone, but also being able to peek over that ledge, and also Mist being very oppressive on that right side, just absolutely locking you out. Like I said earlier, you are not able to push that right side. On Mahi, left is going to be your best bet.
No, absolutely. And just really what it comes down to on these zones maps is you want to do your best to just maintain that space immediately in front of it as best you can. You don't have to necessarily commit to a dive, you know, into the plat of your opponent. And they did a great job of not necessarily feeding in too far, but just holding that space best they can, and also having their numbers up most of the time too. We didn't see that many wipes on the side of Poyo, which really helped them lock down that win. And now the tides are kind of changing. Now maybe you do have to do some crazy dives into your opponent's space, and we're going to be seeing just that on TC Hagglefish, Shark.
Again, a lot with O2 POV is that when they did get pushes, they were able to move very quickly and move very well. They just were not able to hold very well, and that was Poyo's strength, is that they were just able to hold and lock out very, very efficiently, and they knew when to back up and give space so that they could regroup.
No, you're right. Absolutely. And I think like what I am maybe hoping to see play out a bit better for them this upcoming match is kind of the usage of particularly the Kraken, I think. and hopefully them being able to push up with it a bit more as a team, or at least like have the opportunities for the Kraken to kind of bounce back a bit quicker. There were quite a few times that we saw that Kraken kind of die off of its like end animation, and ideally, you know, they kind of avoid those instances a bit more often here.
Hopefully they are actually able to avoid that. Kraken, again, being not one of those aggro specials that you're just able to take space with if everything goes right. But again, it's going to be hard to push it off tower, and we see Brella. Is that V-Brella coming out on the side of... no, it's Sorella Brella. Sorella Brella coming out on the side of Poyo.
Yeah, and they got that jet in tow with it. Gotta love that. We also see the S-Blast out on the side of 0-2 POV now. That Brella going to go for a really quick dive play like we were talking about earlier. Taking out the S-Blast, that's a huge pick. Also, a 96 Gal going down on the side of 0-2 POV. It's looking a little spooky for them.
The jump out means that Poyo will actually be able to push in here, and interesting play on Brella's gear. They're running Object Shredder.
Yeah, Object Shredder is a bit interesting. I guess maybe... What's that like for the Brella, maybe? I don't know.
Good question. But also on the side of O2 POV, running a little bit more of an aggressive, you know, running the more aggressive blaster option as opposed to RPD, and to hopefully deal with Brella a bit easier, or hopefully have a little bit of an easier time working with it. Able to use shield, yep. Wobbly able to use shield to survive and let their team get in and help them just to get out. Strike's coming out to stall, but Wobbly taking a very aggressive position here. Gets one, Jet comes out, almost gets the second, but goes down. Strike's coming out on the side of Poyo means they're going to get a lot of points here.
Yeah, that was such a really valuable play from that Brella player. Being able to eat up so much attention on the left. Like, they had 3 of the members of 0-2 POV looking at them while they were just getting points on the tower and getting through checkpoints. That's huge. And we're seeing kind of a similar thing play out here. Poyo does ultimately get wiped, but now they still have the majority of the map in their favor as they get off respawn.
Going to 33, getting a very strong lead here before the 3-minute mark. Jet coming out, but Kraken going to counter it, trying to shred. Maybe that's what the Object Shredder is for. We shred the Booyah off of Jet.
Yeah, that's actually a crazy play. I didn't expect that to necessarily work out, but hey, what works, works.
You know, you love to see it. You love to see weird stuff come out. Strikes coming out on the side of Poyo. Able to take a little bit more space. The shot 2 will go down on the side of O2 POV. 3 will go down on the side of POV. And hopefully Gal's going to jump out here, and they do. Going to be very hard for O2 to get their to grab their footing here. Possibly this push will probably last until around the 2-minute or even 1-minute mark, and they're not going to have a lot of time if they don't start moving now.
Yeah, good call out there on how long that might be able to last, but look at them. Like, they're not even necessarily committing to pushing that tower up further for more points super fast. They're letting the tower just kind of drift around that slick area, and it's been... I guess it was working out pretty well for them, you know? They still have a lot of control of the map, although we do see the members of 0-2 POV getting some own pushes on their side as well.
Again, we had an aggressive Booyah come out that was able to take a little bit of space and give them a little bit more breathing room, but overall, Moon able to just really capitalize on the new Gal buff, especially with the shot velocity buff, and able to take a kill here. Kraken coming out on the side of O2 POV might give them a little bit more breathing room, but realistically, how much is it going to take? And they're not able to get the pen off.
Yeah, they don't, and that I kind of wish that Kraken just maybe committed a bit further to it. I feel like one of the worst mistakes you can make sometimes as a player is not just go for that dive if you're already kind of going for it. Getting that steady momentum forward is so huge, but nevertheless, this match is still going on, over a minute left. We do see strikes come out on the tower. Taco's doing a great job of holding it down so far. They do go down to the S-Blast, but the S-Blast goes down themselves from the looks of it due to the 52. Gal getting another pick of their own. Look at this new buff that we're experiencing here. Probably a lot of those teleporting shots are being experienced right now.
Again, beautiful shark by Moon here, and this will most likely close Poyo at the game if O2 can't get a couple specials here to get them back in. A lot of jump outs coming out on the side of O2 POV is, and like I said, they are losing time fast, and they may live up to their namesake.
Yeah, we'll have to see for sure. Once again, we're left with just the Kraken on the board. Members of Poyo kind of sharking around, but looking to dive on loser POV here as they get caught in a 1v2. And Tacos launching themselves into the tower, trying to get a hold of it, but maybe not necessarily the best play because they do go down, leaving just Wobbly Wiggly here, trying to find a pick of their own. They go down too, and Jet, we might just see a push from the members of 0-2 POV as the clock ticks down.
Again, a very beautiful kill on the Jet, but Whale calling out the Shark, able to take it down. Booyah takes the bomb off tower, gives them a little bit more time. They may be able to push this here if Poyo doesn't retake here, but it's going to be a very hard uphill battle for O2 POV. Strikes coming out to stall, but their own strikes are coming out.
That was a really clever play. Okay, we do see loser POV left just alone on the tower.
And that's going to be it. Poyo will take the set 2-0, and O2's point of view will go down 0-2.
I guess maybe it was destined by fate, but hey, you can't be that sad about a Great White run in SOS, regardless of if it was a short run, you know?
Absolutely, and again with our small amount of teams, it's very, we're having fun here. Again, beautiful sharks by the Gal player on the side of Poyo. Whale, and again, O2 had a very good had very good momentum in decision making at the end there, but it was too little too late on the side of O2, and Poyo will take the set.
Yeah, agreed there. I've really got to appreciate what they were able to accomplish with those strikes, those stalling at the tower so that the members of Poyo couldn't just dive onto and end the match right there. And they were able to get a few more points because of that. Obviously, preferably, you're going a bit further with it, but regardless, really good efforts from both teams. They both had their own shining moments, and looking forward to see what they both accomplish in the future.
Absolutely beautiful. And we'll be going into our next set here shortly. So we'll see you guys in a minute.
Welcome back, everyone, to SOS 199 Great White, and we got our semifinals match versus DUI Motif and Horse Yuri. I don't think I've ever seen a better matchup of teams ever, Shark.
Duel of the Fates. We gotta start playing it. Listen, this is competitive Splatoon. You're gonna get pickups with absolutely insane names, and absolutely you love to see the horse here.
The DUI motif is quite topical in recent times too, with a lot of the Deltarune silliness we've been seeing the past month or so. So big fan of it.
Well, Mako being another one of those reach slider maps, hopefully we'll see one of those. Hopefully we'll see a DUI on a reach slider.
DUI and a reach slider in the Mako Mart? I don't know. Are they allowed to drive those things in there?
Into a grocery store? I think so.
No, okay. I just wanted to be sure. Anywho, good two teams we got here. Both winning their previous sets, of course, 2-0 and 2-1 respectively. And with Horse Yuri and DUI motif, I don't know. What do you think we might see, Shark?
In terms of teams and comps, I am a little bit oblivious as to what they would run. But in terms of map selection on Mako Mart, again, one of those zones maps that's run pretty frequently. You're gonna want to be taking space. Mostly on stacks. It's gonna be I don't know. You have strikes and you have slider here that are gonna be probably your two strongest options. Pen, again, long range pen leader. You're gonna see is pretty oppressive here.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And also, I think at times bubble weapons can be very strong here too. I know that whenever I see a junior decav on Mako zones, it can always get a little dicey. If they're on the other team, if they're on my team, it's typically really cool and awesome, and everything's happening really great. But yeah, I'm really loving what we're seeing here. We actually had a little bit of a note in the chat that I have to acknowledge. I have to acknowledge here. Apparently, one of the members of Duck Motif got a DUI or something. I don't know if I read that right.
Yeah. Okay, well, you get crazy names, but yeah. I don't know.
That's the
you get to. I mean, listen, decav is one of those weapons that I have fun playing with, but I am terrified to play against a good decav. Playing against a okay decav I can deal with. Playing against a good decav who knows what they're doing is terrifying, and I cannot get in because I'm a duelist.
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean there. And I mean, I think that can also go for so many other weapons too, like blasters can be insanely oppressive, I like it. Just the number of times I've just been poked to death in particular by a rapid pro. I know when it's gonna happen. I know that in a second or two that it's just curtains for me, but I still commit to the fight I'm in, just in the hopes of maybe the trade. So there's so many little different dynamics that you can see on some of these maps and just comps in general.
And again, going into semifinals, we'll be swapping from BO3 to best of 5. We'll be starting, as we were just talking about, we'll be starting on Zones Mako, one of those maps that is a bit tricky to run, that is a bit more technical of a map than we have going into Clam Blitz on Museum, and then a staple, honestly, one of my favorite map modes, TC Inkblot. Rainmaker on Manta is going to be a little bit more difficult, and Zones on Ramen.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta agree with you on Inkblot. I think that's potentially one of the best designed maps in this game, debatably. A lot of the times.
That map mode used to be one of my most difficult maps, especially playing with teams that I play with. TC Inkblot has been one of those maps that is a bit difficult to first figure out, but once you get the sequencing down, it's a very fun map to play. But anyway, going into Zones Mako, we'll see how this turns out. Gao and Brella coming out again, and we have Jetbo coming out on the side of Horse Yuri.
Yeah, DUIs and horses in tow. Let's see how this match kicks itself off. And Atari, of course, a battle for mid. The 52 being the most up from the looks of it from the side of Horse Fury, taking a one-on-one with the opponent's Gal, ultimately getting that victory. But the bucket is not too far behind. Also going down to the Gal, though. This Gal is putting in the work for Horse Fury. Gotta love it.
Again, Gal being very oppressive here. Wiper was being a little bit aggressive on the start, but it gave Horse Fury a little bit more time to push in. Both Jets coming out on both sides, and DUI Motif is just going to be able to take it down. Again, we see the Gal putting in the work on both teams. Both getting a double before going down.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit of a preview of just how, like, potentially, all the ramifications of just the buffs we're seeing right now.
We had what was possibly a perfect game. Now we get Gal coming back again.
We'll have to see how things ultimately shake up. But look, we have the Gal from Horse Fury. They're posed up here. They're getting 2 splats for their team, allowing the rest of the members to get up on their own respects. The Wiper also going down on the side of Horse Fury, though, providing an opportunity for DUI Motif to get a break in. They might just flip the zone. They do, and things are getting a little bit scrappy in mid right now. They're going to have to take out a few members of Horse Fury if they want to stabilize this push.
Again, I think Gal is just, you're seeing it run with basically every comp. It's such a self-sufficient weapon that you're just able to slot in basically anywhere and be an effective Slayer without needing any help. You have a free refill on tank, and even then you don't even need you don't necessarily need cooler, but it's great to have.
No, agreed for sure. And I think like what we've seen a lot from comps lately in the grand scheme of things with competitive Splatoon is just that like you don't necessarily need cooler to make a comp work. Like obviously you'll still see a lot of pencils around, right, or end zaps, but like at the end of the day, like as long as you're playing to what your comp can pull off, you're going to be able to do a lot. And I think that like from what we're seeing so far from in particular DUI Motif, they're doing a pretty good job in all respects with that.
And Gal just works anywhere at this point. Again, we see Gal coming up, getting a really nice push here on the side of DUI Motif. Most likely they're hoping to take this for lead. Let's see if they're able to hold it long enough and get counter specials out to stop their push. Jet coming out, able to take 2 down on this for Horse Fury, and Jet getting a third on the right. Very nice.
Yeah, not bad at all. This Wiper looking to get some additional pressure for their team too. Yeah, the stamp coming out, getting the pencil to back off for just a little bit, throwing out the hammer, trying to maybe clear anyone from the top right. There was no one there though, so got you a little questionable.
And Splatana or Wiper just able to very hard punish the Brella. Something you don't see really often in comp is that Brella and sword interaction, just because you don't see it. You don't see Brellas run that often.
No, you really don't, and I think it can create a lot of interesting little dynamics too. But from the looks of it so far, the members of Horse Fury doing a really great job of just pushing up collectively. The Jet taking one side, the Wiper taking the other. They're just surrounding the members of DUI Motif rapidly.
And Wiper just absolutely going on a tear here, getting a double on the flank, and then getting a funny little random torp kill. And able to just schmoove around the team, able to take space, able to distract them for long enough. But let's see if it's long enough for Horse Fury to be able to take the game. They might be able to flip here. It's a battle for paint. Strikes coming out on the side of the DUI Motif. It looks like they're going to be able to cap it, and they are, buying them a little bit more time as 45 seconds left on the clock. DUI Motif is going to have to take this to overtime possibly, and hopefully they should be able to get their specials out and ready, and play for life is what you want to do here.
Yeah, that play from the bucket with the strikes was absolutely essential to even like allowing what we're seeing right now to even be taking place once that Gal went down. But now it seems like it's kind of the other way around. Now it's the Gal's turn to shine. They do take out the Wiper, doing a really great job. All the members of the DUI Motif have to do here is not go down to that Jet and not get surrounded that quickly. We do see the Gal go down once again. The Pen is doing their best to keep paint up, providing soda to their team, and it's just like it's getting really scrappy right now, Shark.
Again, very close game. Again, Gal being a very self-sufficient weapon. Horse Series be able to take its zone back, and that's going to be game. Very well played by the Pencil and able to hold zone or hold their own and get a couple splats there, but it's not going to be enough. And Horse Series will take game 1.
Yeah, not bad stuff from either team there. We did see it go from 9 to 5 without really much like going on with all that, but going into Clam's Museum on the next map mode here. Ooh, I don't know what we're going to necessarily like really see differently. I think both teams could run what they just ran here and be probably more than fine with how more aggressive we've seen these gals play so far, Shark. I think that like as long as they kind of keep up that energy, either team can get like big pushes of their own.
I honestly think Jet is still, Jet's Jet. Yeah, it's either really bad or really good, and depending on whose hands it's in. And I feel like Museum is one of those maps that it definitely is a little bit. I can't tell if Jet would even be a little bit stronger, or a little bit weaker, because it'd be stronger because, well, there's more open space, but there's more open space. There's Chargers are going to tap you.
Yeah, that's a fair point for sure. And it kind of also just comes down to like also the weapons that you're running as a team. Like, are they even able to like play off of what your Jet is trying to do the best you can? And I think that from what we saw last game, that the team as a whole was able to do a good job of kind of collectively, or at least partially, pouncing on different members of their opponents. So I think going into this next match here, I think we might still see some of the same, but let's take a look.
Jet is one of those specials that, again, is so unbelievably hype of a special. You love seeing it. I absolutely think Sorella is an awesome kit. But they're going to be, but DUI Motif is actually going to be swapping out to get Kraken Brush out.
Yeah, interesting choice there. That Kraken Brush is probably going to be pretty good in order to get some really fast picks, and also just, just how much pressure that Kraken can create and its hold forward mentality. But we already see DUI Shell here doing a great job of just diving in and grabbing so much attention from the side of Horse Fury, allowing the members of DUI Motif to kind of build up a push of their own and get some clams from mid.
Again, like I was just saying, Pen is not able to capitalize on the openness in the map and not able to take it down. But yeah, again, Brush just being able to take that space and just be a little bit annoying, was able to get enough of a push down to be able to take space. But DUI is going to quickly take it back with Kraken and Cooler ready. DUI's hopefully going to push in here, and two are going to go down on the side of Horse. DUI narrowly dodging a bomb, and Kraken will most likely come out here in a couple seconds.
Yeah, it seems like we might have to wait a little bit for that, though, as the members of DUI Motif opt to back up with their gal going down, I believe. But they still have a good opportunity here. The Viper just went down. The missiles just came out. The members of Horse Fury are kind of on their back leg a little bit. This pro doing great work taking out the gal from the side of Horse Fury. But now we're kind of in the same position as before, where it's a little bit in the neutral. Both sides kind of just having a couple members down, right? They're not necessarily getting really strong control of mid, and we're just about to hit 2 minutes into the game with no push actually from either side.
Again, DUI taking space here, able to open basket and start scoring. Pen able to help a little bit here. Hopefully, is desperate for that pick on the bow on top right. Isn't able to get it, and it looks like DUI is going to have to back up here without even losing a member. But Gal will go down. Two will go down.
Yeah, DUI Motif opting to make a really strong decision there to not necessarily feed in too hard and to try to stay up as long as they could. We do see them trying to do their best to get the scraps of a new push together, but it doesn't seem like it's going to necessarily work out in their favor, as we see a really strong dive here from the Gal player of Horse, who's just able to create so many good opportunities for the team to push in.
Again, yeah, that just pure aggression that you have on Gal and is just able to push in. One goes down on the side of Horsery. They're going to be able to take lead here and keep scoring, in fact. Almost getting the power clam in with that little cheeky jump, but it's not going to be enough. They will take lead, but not by much. And Cooler coming out on the side of DUI and a Jet on the ready. It means that they're going to have a hard time pushing in here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And once again, we're kind of in this kind of back and forth mid-state where both teams are doing their best to contest the center of the map. We do see DUI Shell doing their best to try to push up with their Kraken. They're looking for a pick here. It looks like they do find two, but they don't necessarily get a pick on either of them, although it does allow their pro player to move up as well. They're trying to just get this Wiper here too, trying to just get as many of Hortz's team members out of mid as possible, and they do a good job at it. Now it's Kara's chance here to try to get a push happening.
And Kara desperate for that push in, but is not going to be able to actually establish anything without the rest of your team. Fighting Gal here is able to take it out with a coordinated push. Stamp comes out, is not able to capitalize on their special, and that's going to give DUI Motif a leverage to push in and start scoring.
Really great play there too, and also a huge ball jump as well. They don't get it in, but this Kraken might be able to stay up long enough in order to get the pick in their favor. It doesn't look like the basket's going to stay up long enough though, but they do grab the ball. They are just trying to hold the space for their team, and they do a good job at it. That auto bomb going out, trying to get some additional attention off of the members of their team. DUI Shell's holding the ball here. They do throw it in. That's going to be lead. That's huge for them. Only 30 seconds left in the match, and more clams going in the basket, making that gap bigger. DUI Motif is in a really strong spot here.
Again, very, very beautiful, beautiful save, and what a save, and what a beautiful diversion play by DUI's Brush player here. Again, able to go in, take one down, looking for a second, but is not able to get Kraken off in time. They're going to be able to cancel it, and Horsery is going to look for one final push here. Jet coming out, trying to get him out of your court, but at this point in the match, you want to be gunning for their basket and not having to deal with anyone in your court, and Brush just being that, Brush and Gal being able to pinch and being that oppressive. Looks like DUI Motif is going to be taking game 2 with a wipeout at the end.
Yeah, really great showing there from DUI Motif, being able to bring that back after kind of being on their back foot for a decent chunk of the middle of that game. I do believe they got that initial push, but they did suffer a counter push from the Immersive Horse. But being able to bring it back, that's huge. And also just pacing yourself. We saw a lot of great examples of both teams being able to pace themselves, not necessarily overcommit to pushes. I think that Clam Blitz sometimes kind of invites you to just dive as many clams as you can into the basket. And there can be times for that, of course, right? But knowing when to hold the ball, I think, is also massive. And that match was a great example of that.
Yeah, and a great measure of patience on the Brush player and not trying to throw ball in, knowing that there is enough penalty points. There's just enough less of penalty points to be able to just back up, take a moment, take a little breath, and then go back in with the ball. A great save and great pacing and great patience under pressure by DUI Motif.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now we're at 1-1 right now on the scoreboard with both teams being even. We will see a game for this set. And with that all in mind, we will be touching all 4 different ranked modes of this video game, you know? So we're going to be seeing Tower Control and Rainmaker guaranteed. And, you know, Tower Control Inkblot coming up next. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams choose to adapt to it.
Again, TC Inkblot is one of those maps that there's 2 or 3 places where are just your strongest, best bet, in that if you want to hold space, you just go there and you take the space. One of those being bats and going up to top left, getting in there. There's so many ways to get in there. You can get in there with strikes, you can get there with crab, you can get in there with basically any aggressive special, and just taking that space and being oppressive up there is essentially your in there spawn.
Yeah, pretty much. I would agree with that. Heading into this next game here, we do see the S-Blast coming out from the side of DUI Motif. And also, not really too many changes from the looks of it from Horse Fury, but we do see a really rapid descent into the plat of Horse as the members of DUI Motif just look for different nooks and crannies to try to get into. Really like what this S-Blast is doing here, trying to take bats early, allowing their pro to also take some space as well. They do opt to back up just to make sure that some loose ends are hopefully not taken care of, but it looks like it's going to provide an opportunity for Horse to try to push up themselves as well here.
And DUI with a very, very aggressive push into their block on the start of the match, with both Gal and Pro going in on block, and S-Blast going into bats just very, very quickly was on. In no reason was it a bad play, but it was just a little bit too aggressive, and they were just able to get behind tower, and then once you get the tower splat, then guys, who's driving the tower? It's just so. Again, a little bit overheat on the side of DUI, and Horse Fury here again able to take space and take tower again to start another push.
Shark, do you think that someone with a DUI can drive the tower?
Well, you know what? I mean, it's autopiloting. It's like a Tesla.
No, you're right. Yeah, it's basically self-driving. You just have to be physically in the car and, you know, paying attention, generally speaking, to what's in front of you in the rule. You know, so fair enough. But we do see the members of DUI Motif kind of on their back foot a little bit now. The Horse is in a good spot here to continue to push up, although this Gal here, Drift, doing a fantastic job of just buying time, buying attention, and kind of just stalling this tower as Horse is just desperately looking for this lead.
Again, we see a very aggressive wiper here. Gal's going to be able to take it down, and if I had a nickel for every time I said Gal in this commentation set, I'd be a billionaire.
Absolutely. And look at how much they're able to accomplish too. We keep talking about it, but these Gals are playing so well. Clearly these players really like Gal too. This isn't like a, oh, let's play the broken weapon to see what happens type move.
Yeah, this is we are seeing a certified Gal moment.
It really is. This bow doing a great job here of just trying to ease in and off the tower, make sure that it doesn't necessarily move away too far. They do opt to pop the jet to try to buy some space for their team, although it looks like the members of DUI Motif are starting to get control of their bats again, which might spell an end to this push for the members of Horse as the bow is forced to back up to their plat.
But let's just say a great escape by Blob. A great, Blob has a great understanding of survivability and is just able to get away before Gal is able to capitalize on the retreat. And missiles coming out into bats. Missiles coming out into bats means DUI Motif's going to be able to take this pretty easy, whether they get the splats or not. And okay, another splat. A splat on sword. Again, just being very, very oppressive on bats is what you want. Even having Pen come up here, we have aggressive Pen in bats.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it kind of calls for it too, with the angles that the bow and wiper are particularly taking. You do want to not necessarily just stay in the same place for the whole time, and it was able to play out pretty well for them. They didn't get lead off that, but they did get quite a few points on the board. Hopefully they can try to do something with that again in the future, but now we're going to see DUI Motif try to make another move here again as they try to keep getting points on the tower. Shell doing a great job of just kind of sneaking this play in here too, by the way. I didn't even see this coming.
Just waiting out the Booyah until they start getting pressure, and the second that they do, the second pressure is there. Booyah's going to come out on tower, but is it going to be enough for DUI to start getting lead here? Very, very close. Horse Fury's getting that push back. Zap diving to try and push the tower back for a minute, but that's going to be very close, and DUI is going to be able to take lead here, taking the check and backing up, saving specials for the defense.
Really clever jump out there too by using the sprinkler to kind of defend yourself if you happen to get jumped really quick. But now we see Horse having to make the final move here as we're going to be entering what's likely going to end up being the last push of this set. Viper going down off screen, not necessarily a great start to it, but we do see the jet come out from the members of Horse. The Gal and Jet doing a great job of teaming up. The Zap going down though as they just pop Soda, and now it's getting close here, Shark. I don't know how we're going to necessarily see this end.
Whales coming out on the side of Horsery. They're going to start trying to push into Bats. Again, able to keep pretty good momentum, but it's not going to be enough, and it's just going to be Wiper on tower. It's time to make the play of your life, or it's going to be the game.
And you could see two members of Horse jumping in there right at the last second too. If they were able to find that pick on that pen, I believe that might have been huge in just enabling the push just a bit longer for sure. But nevertheless, good efforts from both sides, really good pacing from both sides. And I think that DUI was able to just, I don't know, they were so close to really closing that out in a way that just would be a little bit more confident, but like I think they still do a good job.
I'm starting to think DUI might be sobering up a little bit because they're starting to lock in. And again, very, very clean set played by both sides, and very clean set played by both sides. DUI taking Inkling, taking the set to 2-1, and we're going to be going into Rainmaker on Manta here.
Yeah, Rainmaker Manta kind of operating pretty similarly, I would argue, to kind of a lot of tower modes and how just it's kind of paced, right? Like you have a lot of stally positions.
It's a very funky map. It's a funky map. That's as much as I can really say about it.
Yeah, in particular, like that, just the street section as a whole, it's like this is where the entire game of the map takes place, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Again, we'll see, hopefully Gal or other diving weapons just being able to take. Again, you're going to be able to see a lot of flanks here, a lot of really strong space being taken by Gals, by, just Gals going insane. What more can you see in SOS?
Pretty much. And I mean, this is a pretty good map, I would argue, for Gal. Not like there's that many that aren't good for Gal, but being able to just pop a wall and suddenly like half the street is just actually blocked off to the opponent, that's huge. And when you kind of combo that with just needing to rush an objective like the Rainmaker that you can also control the pace of, that's going to provide a lot of opportunities for some snowballing here. So, this match may end up being over sooner than we think, but let's see what both teams pull out here.
Hopefully, DUI is hoping to take Game 4 here and close out the set, but again, Horse looking out for their dear life and hopefully going to be able to take this to a Game 5.
Yeah, for sure. And with this initial pop here, I think that it seems like it's going to be very clearly in the favor of Horse. The Wiper here doing a decent job at sharking for now. It looks like they might go for a right flank play. They do. And now it's going to be just up to like what they can pull off. They do get shut down, though, by that Luna Blaster. And look in the meantime what's happening over here on the right flank, Shark.
Again, as we saw, by no means was it a bad play. Gal and Wiper trying to get a pinch off on Bats, but again, able to get a cheeky push. What is that? Going around the right side. And
yeah, they actually landed it too. Like, look at that. Like, they actually touched the ground when they died.
So, again, DUI hoping to possibly... Yep, and here we go. DUI takes the game, and there you have it. There you have it. DUI sobers up, takes the set 3-1. And again, with that aggressive Gal, we had Horse try and take a very aggressive start, but it didn't play out well. And here we are with DUI taking this set 3-1.
Yeah, really strong showing for them, particularly that last game, but also just gradually over the course of these previous few games as well. Just like how much they were able to dominate. We did see DUI Motif do a really great job of just being able to stop Horse Series flanks and just, be able to just commit to moving the Rainmaker. Like, this mode is all about just how many points can you get on the board and how many points can you make sure that your opponent doesn't get. And they made sure that Horse Fury didn't see a single point that game. So I think they did a good job at it.
Again, yeah, I mean, hey, this is Splatoon. You're going to get those very quick 1-minute games on, especially Rainmaker, and there you have it. DUI will, of course, be moving into finals here, and we'll be seeing you in finals soon. We'll be seeing you in finals soon. My bad. I Good evening, gamers. Welcome back to Swimmer Sync. We're going into the grand final soon, but before we get into that, registration for Super Jump 6 is now open. Event will be between September 20th and the 21st with a starting prize of $250. All teams will make it to E2 for a different bracket for all levels. If you want to learn more, go to start.gg/SJ to sign up for Super Jump.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting time for those of you who were able to check out the action of Super Jump 5 this past June, earlier in the summer. It was a great time, and there's going to be more action taking place after Riptide in just like 2 or 3 weeks here with Super Jump 6, so you don't want to miss out on it. Be sure to get in on the action while you have time.
Now going into our grand finals of going into our grand finals, we're going to see DUI again from our previous set. DUI taking the last set 3-1, able to sober up a little bit going against Destiny. Going into Ship-Shape Zone, again, one of those maps that I personally have a lot of fun on. Very, very interesting zones map.
Yeah, definitely indeed. Ship-Shape, I feel like initially a lot of the popular opinion of Ship-Shape was that it could be better, but as time has moved on, I've definitely seen a lot more like excitement for it and just people generally enjoying it more. And I think I'm in typically the same boat too there. I think Ship-Shape Zones is probably one of the stronger zones maps in this game. I really enjoy playing on it. And I think kind of starting off our set here, I'm interested to see how both teams kind of choose to work around the geometry of this map to their favor.
I personally love it because, I personally love Ship-Shape as there is a lot of ways to actually get in, and it's not like Mahi where you just have you only have one option to really push in is on left. But with zones or with Ship-Shape, you have multiple options to get in. You can dive right, you can play open, you can play in your core, you can go left. It's a very, very versatile map, and one that a lot of specials. There is a wide range of specials that are very strong on it. And then going to one of my personal favorites, Rain Hump, especially a very, very strong dualies map, but again, a very, very chaotic map. And then after that, going into TC Undertow, Clam Blitz on Scorch, and Zones Hagglefish for our 5th.
Yeah, and pretty good spread of maps overall here. Really interested to see how kind of, the sprint that we all know and love of Humpback is taken by the teams here, and maybe how quickly that match potentially ends as well, because you have the times where Humpback is just a snowball fest, like one team absolutely dominates, but then you have other times where it's a lot more back and forth, and it's kind of a slow trudge of like, okay, who can like get a few more points over the other. So yeah, with our matches here, really good spread, really looking forward to it, and can't wait to see how this starts up.
And hopefully this will be a pretty electric match. It won't end super quick like our last match did with a absolute just knockout very, very quickly on the side of DUI.
Yeah, and I mean, both teams had pretty good sets that they just came off of. Destiny getting a 3-2 win over Poyo in the previous set, whereas DUI Motif got that previously shown 3-1 win against Horse Series. So kind of looking into this now, obviously the favor of just the raw numbers is maybe in the favor of DUI Motif, especially since they didn't have to play that round 1 match. But, who knows what could happen. This is a crazy game.
I'm hoping, we'll see a little bit more diversity than Gal. It's fun to watch, but only for so long. So we'll see if we don't run into another double Gal match. I would love to see more Brella. I would love to see more Sorella, because that is in my opinion, very, very cool weapon. It's very, very fun. I love the idea. I think Jet is awesome. A little bit slept on, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, did we see the recycled Brella with Splashdown in one of the earlier matches?
We did.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was Zones. That was the Zones Mahi map. That was again, Mist being a lot more impressive than people give it credit for, and if I'm being honest, I kind of wanted third delegate to have Mist.
I mean, we've seen Mist played pretty well by some of the teams that it has popped up on so far in this set. In particular, although that Rainmaker Manta match did go pretty quickly, the Splash-O-Matic with the Mist on its kit was able to do a really good job of just kind of slowing down the Rainmaker, making that push a little less devastating, kind of stalling out how quick it went by. So I think when it comes to especially like a map like Rainmaker Humpback, where it's just a sprint from one checkpoint to the final one, if you can get that slowed down as much as you can to buy time for your team to get up, that's going to be massive. And I think that kind of plays to a lot of the maps here.
Not only that, it is very strong in maps that are... It's very, very strong in maps that have very thin choke points. So you'll probably be seeing it when we get into Robo Ramen. Or like if you go into a map like Ramen, or what's some other maps that have like really like small choke points, or really like small areas to push through, especially ramp, and basically, you know, your entire spawn on that map is just some place where Mist is very, very oppressive and able to honestly just stop a lot of weapons just dead in their tracks if they can't get past it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Agreed there. Yeah, and I think when it comes to just all those different options that these teams can have, I think that what we're going to probably see really shine through with a map like Ship-Shape Zones to start us off is just what they can accomplish to stall out and just take away some of those opportunities from their opponents. Like when I think of stuff like Reef Slider, right? Like how quickly it can flip a zone when it's popped to get that flip. If you're able to just prevent the Reef Slider from even successfully landing at all, that's going to be massive. So I think both teams are going to be looking for those sorts of opportunities, and I think that's what just really allows a win to be as decisive as it can be.
All right, heading into our first match here, a very, very fun map, one of my personal favorites, going in with DUI and... oh, we're taking a second to get to the match. We love 3-deck code. Let's go.
You know, it has been a moment. Maybe they were breaking that sober streak a little bit, but hey, we're in the match. We're getting going. Let's see what both teams pull out.
Again, pretty relatively vanilla comp coming out on the side of Destiny, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Double short range shooter coming out, and Gal being punished pretty quickly with that aggression, and Bubble able to come up and give Pencil that leverage that it needs to start helping the rest of the team take space.
Yeah, for sure, and I really like to see what Destiny was able to pull off there by just completely denying the Gal from the side of DOI Motif their flank. Also, just once again, a really good play from the opposite Gal here too. Drift doing a great job of shutting down that S-Blast and helping the rest of their team get that pick on the Junior, preventing a bubble from popping out, and also, you know, just all those different splat bombs that the Splattershot Junior can pull out. And we're seeing kind of a lot of back and forth here. Both teams kind of opting to go for their own kind of individual flanks or a couple team ups, but yeah, it seems like so far DUI Motif kind of just opting to go for as much rushdown as they can in order to maintain their domination of this match.
With kind of the geometry of the map, it's very much in the majority of situations. I'm not saying dive whenever you can, but it is a very strong map, and it does allow it is very strong for solo plays, and it's very what's the word? It very much habilitates the ability to, if you get cool or if you get some sort of advantage, that you can go for that kind of flank, and you'll see that a lot with you know, Gals dropping off the top and dropping into your court very quickly, but. DUI able to hopefully get something started here, but but with Destiny getting jumps in, it's looking like they're going to be able to start another thing here. It's very indecisive right now.
Yeah, the Octobrush doing a great job of just rushing down the Pencil of the side of Destiny. It just, plays like that is what is really going to like allow a team to just really springboard themselves forward. Although it didn't work in that instance, it has led to Destiny now kind of being in control of the zone. They're ticking down the clock. They're getting points on the board now. They're looking to try to get lead here very shortly. And with only 2 members up, they should be able to still grab lead, but it seems like it might be a little bit more tricky than an easy sweep.
again, it was looking a bit dire there. As we see, Gal drops behind, is able to get a pick, able to start getting momentum back, but as we saw earlier, 2 going down to bomb was a little bit rough, and Destiny able to get back here, hopefully sees the pen in time, gets a splat. Gal able to try and chase this splat here, is not able to get it. Brush comes out, 8 points on the board for Destiny, but DUI is going to be able to flip it and buy a little bit more time.
Yeah, that's a really key flip too when you have 8 ticks left on the board before your opponent gets their match win. But now with the side of DUI Motif being in control, it's going to just come down once again to like if they can prevent a lot of these pushes from getting the value they're seeking. Obviously, they have a Booyah Bomb on board. They also have a lot of aggro weapons. Like this Junior's been carrying a lot of aggro for the side of Destiny and has been putting in their work for sure. So if you can make sure that that Junior's not able to do too many things, you're going to be in a good spot.
Absolutely, and Gal going, the Gal inside of Motif, or inside of DUI going a little bit crazy here, able to get behind, is not able to get the flank off on Destiny's side, and 2 will be down. They're trying to vie for paint to save lead, but DUI is able to take it. Splat going in here for one last-ditch effort, but DUI will take lead. Storm coming out to secure game 1 for the side of DUI.
Yeah, that was kind of almost like a heartbreaking final like contest for the zone there towards the end, where they were just a few ticks away from grabbing the lead from the side of DUI Motif in particular. But with the side of Destiny, just seeing the Junior and Pencil doing their best to try to hold down that zone, even having a majority of it painted, but not enough to actually land the cap. You hate to see it, but hey, really good fight from both sides there. Clearly a very close match in and of itself, with just that overtime coming into play to land them that win. But with the Rainmaker humpback here, I don't know if it's going to necessarily look exactly the same.
I feel like it will, because again, we're seeing on the side of Destiny, they do the Gal as the Junior is, at least I'm kind of what I'm seeing is the Junior is a little bit you know, going for zone, but kind of bodyguarding Pen here, especially with bubble and just bombs, and kind of trying to stay around them. Or if they have advantage, then they start pushing up with Gal and being aggressive. But overall, a lot of you have a lot more. At least from what I'm seeing on Destiny's side, you're having a lot more patience on weapons, and you're really the only one that is going for flanks and diving and doing stuff like that is Gal. And I think that might be a little bit of a misplay. You want to have that S-Blast up with you taking space. When they were able to hold space, they were able to hold it well, but when they were trying to retake, they were a little bit scattered.
Yeah, no, I do see what you mean there too. And I think that scatteredness does have its benefits at times, but like if you can just kind of take advantage of those opportunities in some of those solo flanks that we did kind of see at times from them, you can still kind of, you know, gain the value you're looking for. But a lot of that just comes down to like a little bit of a clutch factor, of course.
And and especially with a map like Shipshape, as I saw a couple times there was one instance where there were 2 and 2 on right and left side when they were pushing in, kind of spreading out their resources. But that's what that kind of map facilitates. But going into Rainmaker Humpback, you're going to be very much playing a lot closer to each other. You're going to be playing a lot more up close and personal, and as we see, that will be emphasized by the weapon comps here, with Blaster and Kraken Shot coming out on the side of Destiny, trying to get a little bit more of that aggression, opting to swap Pen for Headit. Again, getting a lot of that early aggression on, hoping to get a pick here. Gets a pick on the Gal. Hammer coming out is going to start absolutely sending the ball down the hill here, and for DUI.
Yeah, really strong initial cap here with just 25 seconds passing in the match when we saw that cap happen. And the members of DUI Motif doing a good job of just trying to stay up, trying to avoid this Kraken. We do see 2 go down, 3 go down now. But that Kraken able to get just a lot of crazy value, actually.
Cracking, yeah, again, invincibility special getting a lot of stuff out. Crab is going to be able to stall for a little bit longer. Kara getting strikes out here means that they're going to have a little bit more leverage to try and get out. It's a 2v2 right now with Gal going into DUI's spawn. They're going to be, their attentions might be a little bit split if Destiny's Gal plays this correctly.
Kraken once again coming out here from Destiny, not able to necessarily find anything right there, but able to still create a lot of pressure and make the members of DUI Motif hesitate a little bit. This had it also doing a great job of just maintaining space for their team. We do see the Blaster dive in. They're looking to try to find a pick. They find a twofer. You can't complain about that. And with that hammer being down from the side of DUI Motif as well, that's massive for you.
Again, Blaster getting insane value here. Cooler coming out on the side of DUI with, quite honestly, one of my favorite Cooler picks. We absolutely love to see Gal coming out. Crab coming out to get that momentum going. Gonna use the rest of it to shred Rain. Hopefully we can see another push here. Gal able to punish the Luna, and it's Destiny's going to be able to push back here and hopefully get the ball rolling.
Yeah, hopefully indeed, and with the Rain now in the hands of Destiny, it seems like they're trying to find some points on the board themselves. This Luna putting themselves in a pretty interesting position, though, opting to try to hold down that right flank, but ultimately going down to the Rainmaker, although it seems like we're in a bit of a crazy spot here with the Rainmaker push to go down from DUI Motif, although DUI Motif has really solid control of their top right snipe there. It's not going to be easy to break in.
Again, Destiny is going to have to get some specials here on the board if they want to push in, and it's just going to be Sunny that headed left and is going to get a jump out, but the Blaster makes a mistake, jumps in, probably was looking for another pick there, but makes a mistake and makes a misplay, jumps in, and is DUI is just able to punish that very hard.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job of being able to just prevent that from kind of just snowballing anymore. Although this Kraken here looking to maybe snuff out whatever DUI Motif is doing. Although, can the Kraken catch up? I don't know.
Again, Destiny is doing a pretty okay job at keeping specials keeping their resources pretty. They're keeping them staggered actually. One thing I'm seeing is they're having a bit of a difficult time trying to get specials in, but if Blaster can get Splashdown here, that could be a key special in starting a push here or even getting lead.
Yeah, in the meantime, though, it seems like the members of Destiny were able to, without necessarily that splashdown, just get enough points on the board in order to get that lead, and also just kind of work together, too, to help escort the Rainmaker, the Kraken kind of absorbing a lot of attention in the process of that. This splashdown doing a great job of trying to enable a few more jumps in. They do get one more point on the board. Still pretty good, all things considered. And now the members of DUI Motif have to find a push themselves here.
Again, a very strong push there without a ton of specials needing to be popped. Kraken getting a ton of value on the side of Destiny, able to actually get them lead, but hopefully DUI is very much looking to get strikes in and hopefully another special with them to get it in. Blaster being oppressive to Rain and their numbers down with 30 seconds left to go. It is not looking great on the side of DUI. Splashdown coming out, barely. Rainmaker stays alive, 20 seconds left on Rainmaker actually, and only the game time left, and it's Rain's gonna go down. Let's see if DUI can keep the momentum up. They have strikes. They might be able to take this back. This is a very, very close game. Rain's gonna go down again, but they might have just enough leverage to get up if they play this correctly. Rain goes down again. Destiny able to take it down. DUI is going to have to pop this and run it, but Destiny is going to be able to do just enough damage and have just enough DPS to match DUI, and that's going to be Destiny game.
What a close game, too. Definitely nothing to be too disappointed about, hopefully, from either side, but man, those strikes at the very end there, I think what the play probably would have been is you just had the Rainmaker hold back for like another second or two, let those strikes do their damage, and then you try to go in, instead of kind of like through the strikes as they're actively coming out. Sometimes like the benefit of those can be a little bit deceptive if the other team is pre-firing in a like
Even then, I don't think it was very much of an incorrect play. It was just a very, very well played and very, very good resource management on player resource management on the side of Destiny. Able to just once they get the pick, you start DPSing, and that's it, and that's GG's.
Pretty much, yeah, especially when you don't necessarily have any specials on the board yourself, and of course, like, subs don't necessarily like some of those specials we did see come out there towards the end anyways.
Exactly. I would not be surprised if Destiny goes back to Old Faithful, goes back to Pen here on Undertow, but we'll have to see if they want to keep this aggression going into DUI's comp, or if they're going to switch it up yet again.
For sure, for sure. When it comes to just how these maps have been playing out so far, we have seen a lot of back and forth action, but when it comes to a map like TC Undertow, I think that if they're able to enable a backline like that, Pen, you were saying, they might be able to find the edge they're looking for. When it comes to tower control, having some objects on the tower can just be really useful in getting past certain checks. If you have that cooler placed in such a way where you can take some, avoid some damage from it in particular, that's what I'm looking for, that's going to be really huge for you.
Yeah, if you can just use it as a de facto splash wall, and there you go.
Pretty much.
All right, going into Undertow here, a little bit more of a odd terrain map. We're going in with again, DUI will bring Pen back out, and they're bringing Forge Pro in, opting to go for Booyah instead of missiles.
Yeah, interesting choice there. But overall, definitely still a strong weapon in of itself, though, with that Booyah. As we do see both sides here trying to fight for control of mid and the tower. Neither side seeming to get an edge just yet, although it does seem like the members of Destiny are plotting a push of their own here, as we do see trades going on both sides.
And I think to answer to the previous question of what they were going to run, Destiny actually is the answer to yes to both. They're running a bit of a hybrid comp of the two comps they were playing before. They have Pen and they have Junior, but they want to keep the aggression of Custom Blaster. Pen going down on the side of Destiny means that everyone's going to have to try and hold their own, and Junior is able to get points on tower here, get a lot of value out of that bubble, but Kraken coming out is going to be the end of that. Very, very good splashdown coming out, and is able to get a lot of value. DUI just one up and gets a delayed wipe. Cooler going to be coming out, and again, we're going to be seeing that aggression from the side of Destiny coming out very, very quickly.
Yeah, that blaster there was definitely, they definitely have the play of the game potentially under their hands from what we've seen so far this match, but just doing a great job of being able to utilize the map's geometry to maximize the value of your splashdown is always a huge benefit in of itself. We do see a gal off here, the members of DUI Motif ultimately winning out that one for now, but it's going to come down to if they can still make this tower actually stop moving or not. The Junior doing a great job of just stalling it out, putting that bubble down. Will anyone jump to? It doesn't seem like necessarily yet, but the members of Destiny are still out and about in mid.
Again, Drift almost losing that shot RNG. It just takes a second to take out the Pen. But Junior sharking here, trying to distract and take attention away, is not going to be able to do it do that super effectively as only one is starting to look at them. And DUI is looking to take lead here. They might be able to, especially with that Booyah coming out and Destiny's numbers being dwindling pretty hard.
Yeah, it's definitely getting a little bit more antsy, only leaving DUI Motif's particular Brush and Pen up right now. The Kraken coming out, not necessarily finding any picks yet, but able to stall out this tower position. That's a really strong spot to leave the tower if you can get away with it. Just having it along these different nooks and crannies of the map is always going to be a huge plus if you can pull it off. But now everyone's kind of just diving in a little bit. They're looking to just continue to cause some chaos, try to use the map to the best they can. And it's going to just come down to who can actually move past this check more than the other.
And Booyah coming in here to counter bubble on tower. Pen coming out, or Pen actually going down to row. A lot happening here. A lot of specials coming out. a lot of specials coming out. We have, I don't know, we got Gal. Gal goes down. A lot of aggression coming out on both sides. We're able to see just what Destiny can do, and if they're going to be able to take this lead soon. Bubble might be, if they're not going to be able to get Booyah out soon enough, as their points are very, very low. Bubble is going to come out, and that's most likely going to secure Destiny lead if DUI isn't able to respond soon.
Yeah, it's a little bit tight right now. Both gals fighting each other, dueling for control of the tower. Ultimately, it seems like Drift is able to just find a lot of key picks on the members of Destiny as they were looking for that push to go down in their favor, ultimately leaving Destiny's own gal to have to just jump out and try to make what they can of a new push. But yeah, it's really back and forth here. We do see DUI Motif trying to set up a new push of their own, maybe not necessarily getting points on the board, but at least move that tower forward and getting some additional space for their team.
Again, just a couple seconds ago, very key moment there in the match for DUI. Without any specials on the board, I think Cooler was out, but again, if you don't got any specials out, you can throw yourself at the tower, and that's exactly what everyone on DUI did. They jumped the tower and were just able to push it without, and able to retake it without actually getting any specials off. But let's see if they're going to be able to do that again, because again, specials being very slow on the side of DUI. Whale may be coming out in a couple of seconds, but Destiny might be able to take this back here. 4 points left to go. Wall coming out on tower. Cooler on tower might be able to shield some shots, but Drift is able to punish it, and that's going to be it. That's going to be 10 seconds left on the clock unless Destiny's able to rush the tower. That's going to be game 3 for DUI.
Yeah, don't hold your breath just yet. It seems like the Scowl might be able to do something. They don't land the pick they're looking for. The Blaster doesn't either. And that is going to be the match in the favor of DUI Motif. That was really back and forth and close, Shark.
Very, very close match. A very, very well played match by both. A lot of specials. Again, that wasn't not a very special heavy game on both sides for any matters. DUI able to just consistently fight with Gal and throw themselves at them with just pure unbridled aggression, and able to take game 3 on what is traditionally a very, very odd map to play on.
Absolutely, and we are going to see Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge next here. Just a lot of these like kind of like almost like partial rushdown plays, I want to call them, that the Gal's able to enable has been really valuable for both sides. And we've seen the members of DUI Motif doing such a great job of being able to play off of their Gal player and the chaos they're able to create and just bounce off of them too. Definitely both Gals doing a great job in their own respects. We have seen Destiny's own Gal do a really great job at having a lot of key clutch plays that have allowed themselves to extend their own pushes. But when it comes to a map like Clam Blitz, Scorch Gorge, and also having the factor of clams on the map, it's going to come down to like a lot more coordination, I think, which seems to so far be on the edge of DUI Motif.
Again, Gal, again, we have a lot of weapons that would be pretty standard to see run on Scorch. Again, on the side of Destiny, both Hedda and Pen is a great pick here in terms of what you want to do. In terms of if you want to have more aggression, or you want to be able to just take snipe and be oppressive that way. But it really comes down to this. This is you have DUI's very, very aggressive comp going into and it's either they match that aggression or somehow be able to wall it out, and it's very difficult to match that.
No, agreed there for sure. Just so how like close a lot of that can come down to in the matches here, as we seem to be heading into our potential final game. But regardless, game 4 here of our set against DUI Motif and Destiny, as both teams look to clutch this next match.
DUI hoping to take that same game 4 aggression that they had in semifinals and hopefully knock this out quickly, while Destiny is going to be vying for that game 5. Hopefully make it come down to the wire.
Absolutely, we do see that Octobrush. That's a really key pick here potentially for the pressure they're looking to create. Just all that different spray damage it can get, and also just the pressure it can get from Sharking too is huge. And we do see a great pick there against the Blaster. This Octobrush already getting behind the members of Destiny. That's going to be huge. They're just finding key picks constantly. It looks like actually in the meantime that ball throw was able to prevent something that Destiny themselves was trying to cook up. And this might just end up being a theme for the rest of the match, Shark.
Again, very great, by all means, a great solo play. Very risky, but it does pay off. Drift going down to Pen here, but it's not going to do much if DUI is just able to hold this pretty well and have 2 power clams chaining them back to ramp, and having power clam on Zip is going to mean it's going to be a little bit difficult to start the push and actually start scoring, especially if you zip in and die with power clam on in their spot. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit rough.
Not the best look you're looking for sure, but this is going to allow Destiny to get a push up of their own. The members of DUI had 3 power clams under their control, and it seems like they're probably going to lose all 3 of them, maybe just holding 1 more of them under their control. But now they have the whole map in their favor, although as I say that, this Octobrush once again going for another crazy flank, ultimately going down, but it's providing opportunities for DUI Motif to just take up clams in mid, remove a lot of the economy from the favor of Destiny, and just stall time as the match goes on.
Again, we see a lot of that, a lot of DUI's aggression coming, mostly, surprisingly, not from the Gal, even though they're pushing up here. It's most of it is actually originating from their brush or from their Octobrush, and they're able to push back in, and they're scrambling to make a power clam in time to try and take lead. Whales comes out to try and stall for a little bit longer. Zip's gonna come out as well to try and get a few picks on their back line, but again, just pure aggression coming out from DUI, able to sustain this push pretty well. If they're able to hold forward, DUI or Kai here the Pencil might actually be able to keep scoring if they keep their economy alive, and it looks like they're going to be able to do that, getting a really significant lead down to 23. Looks like the push might be stopping here. But DUI actually not being able to keep basket open, but definitely being able to keep that space open.
Yeah, and they're doing an excellent job of just maintaining at least control of the ramp here. It seems like in the meantime, though, this junior here doing the best job they can to get attention off of the ramp, although when you have, multiple team members up, you can keep multiple team members around the map. So this Gal doing an excellent job of still having their wall up and holding control of that ramp through there, but now it's just going to come down to like who can get the most clams at this point, right? We do see 23 remaining left on the side of DUI Motif, but if Destiny wants to be able to compete with that, they have to get a lot of clams of their own, and that's going to start with getting the picks that they're trying to find. And if they can't get more map control, they can't necessarily get more clams.
Again, Drift's aggression, even though they go down, it does pay off as they're able to get in and start being start getting a really good push in here. Bubble coming out is actually going to cancel them from pushing in, and hopefully DUI is looking here to try and get in or get out as Brush gets a splat in, but goes down. 2 down on both sides. Destiny looking to start a push here at the last minute of the match, trying to get to game 5 to see if they can take it, or DUI would take this. This is coming down to the wire.
Yeah, it really is right now. Destiny finally able to get some control of mid, although once again we see this push from the Octobrush time and time again, and it's coming out once again with a power ball in tow too, just saying, hey, you thought you could push with your power clam here, but no, it's not happening just yet. This Octobrush doing a fantastic job with their Zipcaster too, just being able to stall out a bit longer. Points continuing to go on the board for DUI Motif, them actually getting a few more than they started out with here. And now it's going to be Destiny's turn, it seems like, for real this time. The bubble comes out. 1 clam goes in the basket. We see a super jump. 2 here. A splashdown even. Really great play there by the Blaster.
Again, great splashdown coming out, but it's not going to be enough. Hopefully they can get in. They're at 27. It's almost there. But DUI, to hold your breath, and DUI is going to take game 4, and DUI will be your SOS. 199 champions taking game 4.
199 SOSs, and definitely couldn't end in a more fitting way with such a close match there. That was becoming a nail biter towards the end with how close the members of Destiny were able to get just that score down, which has been a really consistent thing throughout all of these games. It's been a very competitive set, a very fun set to watch, and of course, I'm sure a very fun set to play for both teams. So good stuff from both of you.
Listen, I was very much rooting for that splashdown to get like a quad, to just get the quad there. I was praying for it, man. I was hoping that was gonna get Destiny back in the game so we could see a game 5, but unfortunately DUI is actually no. Fortunately for DUI, it doesn't, and DUI is gonna be able to take the set and take the crown. So GG's.
GG's indeed, and you know. You might not always get the Twitter clip you're looking for, but you know you can still hold those memories and get some good practice too, of course, through the sets you played tonight. Like getting second in SOS, that's nothing to snuff at. So really good stuff from both teams. Really enjoyed seeing what they had.
Again, and it was a lot of fun to cast. Omazen, where can we find you?
Yeah, y'all can find me at Riptide in Ohio in a few days from now, where I'm going to be hanging out with some of the Beep members, broadcasting esports every play. You can also check out our most recent episode of Splat Chat, where we're talking about Riptide and some future events like Super Jump. So a lot of fun stuff happening over there that I'm involved in. But Sharkbrit, where can the good people find you?
You can find me at on YouTube, youtube.com/Sharkbray, or you can find me on Sharkbray.BeastGuidedSocial. Unfortunately, I will not be going to Riptide, but I will be watching it, and I most likely will be streaming. I will most likely will be watching the stream on my own channel and giving my own thoughts on it. So if you want, take a look out for that, and you know, root for. I will be absolutely rooting for my my goats YTMP4. I will be absolutely rooting for my guys, and I love you guys. Go! You're gonna win this. Let's go. Lock in. Tap in.
Love you too, MP4. So excited for them and hope they are able to do some fun things for sure. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to cast with you tonight, Shark. It's been a great SOS, and that's going to close it up for the night, I believe. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, gamers.